Very good evening, everybody. Nice to have your company wherever you're tuning in all around Australia, all around the world. In fact, be it via Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. Welcome to the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, Season 3 of the 2020 iRacing season. And tonight, we head to Spain, which is the centre of the motorcycle racing universe at the moment. Of course, this venue, the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, played host to the World Superbike Championship over the weekend just gone, and next weekend it is a cracking MotoGP season that will visit this magnificent venue. Of course, 30 years since it opened in 1990. Tonight it plays host to a double header of Gentlemen Sim Racing Club action. Zach Caban and Nico Pop with you, also Paul Nichols. Welcome to the new season, ladies and gentlemen. And we've had a week off to recharge the batteries, but now the members and the drivers and the teams of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club reconvene, and our new season will encompass 10 weeks, and on a broadcast front, 70 races, 7 championships, and of those 7 championships, we'll visit 10 countries, 5 continents, and 23 racetracks. It's going to be a very busy 10 weeks ahead. Welcome to Nick and Paul. Boys, great to be back with you. A week off, and I feel a little bit energized, reinvigorated, rejuvenated. I'm sure you guys are as well. A big week of pre-qualifying, getting ready for what should be a cracking season ahead.
Mate, you're not the only one. I think everybody's been chomping at the bit trying to get back to racing. 1 week off, it really changes the perspective.
It certainly does. Paul Nichols, good evening to you.
I think it's been one of my busiest weeks, actually. I don't think of any downtime, just the back end of setting up the series for the next season. It's awesome attendance. I think pre-qualifying, I sent you a message earlier today, Zach. We had 120-odd for GT3. We had over 100 for the Porsche Cup pre-qualifying, and around 90 for the V8 series. So awesome attendance. It should be a cracking season.
Of course, a lot to be excited about with regards to the new season, new rules, new championships coming your way here through our broadcasts as well, and also a new broadcast partner. It's good to have SimShed Broadcasting on board to bring you all the action for Season 3. So you'll notice quite a bit of difference with regards to graphics and also to what you see on screen right throughout the course of the season, but it'll be the same familiar voices and same familiar competitors entertaining you right throughout. Nick, I'm going to throw it over to you first up because this is your baby. The Intro to Wings is the first race on the agenda this evening. We've got open wheelers and tin tops on a Monday night. We've got all tin tops on a Wednesday night, all tin tops on a Friday night. We've got a double header on a Monday night, a Wednesday night, and a triple header on a Friday night. The weeks are just going to get busier and busier and busier. Intro to Wings Season 2 for these guys. You guys got underway, I think it was a Thursday night last time round in Season 2, Nick, but already a big field on hand for the first race of the new season.
Yeah, well, just to backtrack a little bit, 70 races. I didn't realise it was that many, but hell, bring it on. It's going to be fun. I will be excused from 2 of those of the week, but anyway. Yes, Intro to Wings, primarily designed to introduce a lot of the members who race a lot of tin tops to open wheelers and also cars with higher ratios of downforce to weight. So, because trusting the downforce in wing cars is something that, say, I was talking to Ben Snell last night as an example. He doesn't trust the car enough to do that. So this is a great little way to dip your toe in the water, actually understand how downforce can affect your cornering and braking in your car, making it more, having a higher grip level. And so this will be a little toe dip into the water for these guys, and it gets them racing closely and something that's relatively easy and fun, as we can see by the times.
Exactly right, and no real surprise to see Mikey Hammertime Hammond on top of the timesheets at the moment. 1 minute 8.7, the fastest time of the session thus far, and that's on top of his 108.9 in the practice session, I should say, over 40 minutes a short while ago. Now, the field here, already 17 cars have lodged a qualifying time, make that 18 now. Reese Belitho, the last of those that has clocked a time. He's sitting down in 19th. There are another 7 cars that we're waiting for to clock a qualifying time here. So, Nick, these are short, sharp sessions, 10 minutes, but already a decent field gathering for this round of the championship. A few drivers, however, put out by the fact that it's on a Monday night instead of a Thursday night, but you can't please everybody.
Can't please everybody, but there's so much going on at the club. As you said, 70 broadcast races. I think we got close to 100 or so. I don't know, Nicola, you have to correct me on that, but there's plenty. There's something for everybody on almost every night of the week now. We actually just boxed in Sunday nights now for some off-road action. So there's everything for everybody.
Yeah, we're tackling all different disciplines, which is fantastic to see. Now, I mentioned SimShed Broadcasting. That's going to be a tongue twister and a half throughout the course of the season. But we've also got to welcome on board a couple of new sponsors as well, not least Racecraft, who are going to be our major sponsor for the Porsche Cup Series, which I'll get to in a moment, Nico. Also, Simple Sim Computers back on board with us as well. So, and along with the regulars that we've had right throughout the year, including Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hooker Gander, and Oculair Aerial Photography, also Flash Graphics. So great to have some new names on board, and it just goes to show, Nico, that the word is getting out there about what the Gentleman Sim Racing Club can offer in terms of entertainment.
Yeah, and I think you make a very good point there. I think with the turnout of drivers, I think the club's providing something that's missing in iRacing. I mean, we try and have a very professional, real life attitude to the racing, and I think the drivers appreciate that. Hence, why the club has grown so quickly over the last 6 months. So. Shout out to all the new sponsors. Appreciate it. Racecraft and Simple Sim Computers. Obviously, our regulars, Oculair, Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hooker Gander, and Flash Graphics. Thank you, guys. The support and sponsorship allows us to put these series on. Hence the attendance, which is fantastic.
Indeed, it is. Now, the closing stage of the qualifying session here we'll get to in just a moment. Of course, I think we've got about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go here. And Mikey Hammond on top from Warwick Sharp, Julian Muckey, Adam Coughlin and Brett Selby Wood at this point in time. What will be interesting to see, Nick, will be how many people do the double up and quickly jump out of their sim here, jump into the GT Series, which is racing at the same venue, albeit on the full circuit. We should point out we are on the short circuit here, the Circuit de Catalunya Barcelona tonight for round one, and that will be a recurring theme throughout the course of the season, where there is a shorter configuration available for the Intro to Wings series, as it is a shorter race, 20 laps. You will be running the shorter configuration circuits, Nick.
Yes, correct. Just to make it different, it's a little bit boring just doing the same track over and over again. At least this way we cut out the first sector, get back around, do more laps. So I think Brands Hatches next week or coming up, rather than doing the full Grand Prix circuit, we're just doing Indy. Plenty of laps in there. I think they're only 40-second laps, so plenty to do.
Indeed, there is. Now, the other point of we should point out as well off the top here, Paul Nichols, Wednesday nights are going to be massive. Obviously, the Hump Day Pilot Series TCR GT4 proved very popular in the last series of broadcast races we presented. And this time round, they're going to be the entree to the main course, the Porsche GT3 Cup. Cars are coming into play this time round, which we're very excited about, so much so that the field is pretty much oversubscribed, absolutely bloated, overflowing, chomping at the bit for what is going to be 10 cracking weeks of single-make Porsche GT3 racing. And that's where, obviously, we were talking earlier about Racecraft being a major sponsor for that category. There's a very good vibe about that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think 108 pre-qualified, and I think this series is going to be fantastic. So many people have said they're so happy it's a fixed setup. So Adam Lavis and myself and Rob Carmichael and Mikey Hammond put some setups together, and we kind of put a hybrid between Mikey and Rob Carmichael's setup. And it's very stable, easy to drive, not the fastest setup, but I think for the new guys, it's going to be certainly a really good series. And everyone's chomping at the bit. Their first round is Suzuka International GP, which is a fantastic track for those cars.
Indeed it is, and we're looking forward to bringing that to you Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Do stick with us for that. We will be live from around 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And of course, Friday nights, it's going to be a triple header, so more bang for your buck than ever before. On the subject of pre-qualifying, we had to have 3 bouts of pre-qualifying over the last week. The club's been very busy, so too the members, with Porsche GT3, the GT3 Series, which is coming up in about 40 minutes' time, but then also, Paul Nichols, the V8 Series as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The V8 series is very. I think we had about nearly 90 pre-qualifiers for the V8 series, so that's going to be fantastic. Stock car series and production car series are always popular. So yeah, looking forward to Friday night. It's going to be a big night, a lot of entertainment. So yeah, fantastic. I think it's going to be a cracking night.
There's the track, the Circuit de Catalunya Barcelona short, and of course it's 2.98 kilometres, I should say, 11 turns. And it's a beautiful part of the world. Is Barcelona. 24 degrees the track temp, a 10% chance of rain, and a cloudy, somewhat clear day. Actually, there's a little bit of cloud around, but not too much, and 3-kilometre winds as well. There's the grid for this round of the championship. Michael Hammer, Time Hammond. He will start from pole position. Warwick Sharp alongside him. Julia Muckey and also Adam Coughlin there on the second row. Then Brett Selby-Wood and Ash Phillip the third row. Grant Gill and Sean Rees will be from row number 4. Impressive performance from Michael Hammond, but as Nick pointed out, this top 10 very nicely congested, only 2.1 seconds separating the 10 there as well. Josh Thomas and Justin Schweikort making up the top 10 there. Josh Millard and Todd Heffernan, then Brad Strojewski, Declan Reinhardt, Ben Collard, and Luke Keamy take you back through row 8. Nigel Patton, Adam St. John, and then Reece Filitho and Josh Keane make up the top 20. There were a few cars that opted not to qualify there, 6 in fact. Brock Kelly, one of those, so too Pete Matson, Wayne Visser, Jack Patterson, so too Eric Thorpe and Paul Jansen. Now what will be interesting here, Nick, is this is where some new club rules come into play.
Yeah, new club rules. So if you don't qualify, you have to start from pit lane. If you do take the grid, you'll incur penalties. So it's to stop just cannonballs running through from the back of the field into turn 1 without any practice. So yes, it's a little bit of disadvantage, but it's ensuring the quality and safety for everybody and fun.
Ruining your whole burn from the stern mentality of the last 2 seasons.
I'll do it. I'll just do it from pit lane. That's all.
Yeah, I like it. Now, have you got a tip here, mate?
Watch Hammer Time.
For sure.
And watch
absolutely.
Brock Kelly from 21st. I reckon watch for him.
For sure. And we're looking forward to getting into the GT3 Series on the other side of this race too, ladies and gentlemen. Getting set for a start. Race 1 of the new season. Lights are on. When they go out, we go racing. Off the line nicely. Look at the start from row 2. Magnificent start.
Wow.
From, I think it was Adam Coughlin there on the inside from 4th. And he might well lead them to 1.
Sharp on the outside of him.
Oh dear, side by side. It looked like Sharp was a little bit taily, but he took the outside run to his advantage. Hammer comes up there on the inside as well. Nicely done. So Hammond goes back up in a second. Now Coughlin getting muscled out here around the outside as well. We go on board for the first time. That's with Hammer on the run down to the end of the back straight. And he will chase Adam Coughlin around for the first time.
You can tell Warwick's a little bit nervous there leading. He's actually turned in way too early, so they'll give Mikey a good run on him up the hill.
Indeed it will. Now, Hammer sitting there second nicely at the moment. My apologies, Nick pointed it out. It's Warwick Sharp that's obviously got to the front there, so Adam Coughlin slipped back. But nice start. Watch Michael Hammer Time Hammond here on the inside. Down the main straight for the first time, and he'll go to the lead quite easily. The onboard shot shows it for you. And Hammer will lead them to turn 1. But watch Warwick Sharp trying to force the issue there on the outside, because if he can do that, no, he had no chance in the end. Michael Hammond just took the position and said, that'll do me, thank you very much. Back we go to Julian Muckey.
My setup did work because I deliberately made sure they had a barn door on the rear wing there, and Mikey got the tow, but then once he pulled out, he could only pull beside him and not pull ahead. So this should be interesting for the racecraft.
Indeed. Back we go to Brad Strojewski. And he's there well down the field, actually down in 16th position with Ash Phillip in front of him. Now, there has been a little bit of argy-bargy on the first lap, which has seen Todd Heffernan and also Chris Stark jump out of the server. Todd Heffernan's jumped all the way down to the back of the field. He's 55 seconds off the leader. So there's obviously been some carnage there on lap 1, but it's Michael Hammer time. Hammond, who's already pulling away out in front. And this is the thing too, Nick, what we find with open wheel racing, if you can break that toe, if you can build a gap of about 6-7 car lengths, it's very hard for the slipstream to be of any use, any effect behind.
That's exactly, and I was trying to prevent that happening, but it looks like the class of Mikey Hammond has just taken over in the tight bits. That he wants to tie. By the time he gets onto the front stretch, he's got 9/10 of a second as it is on the timing screen.
Adam Coughlin sitting there in third place. You're riding on board with Brett Selby-Wood, who's right on the tail of Julian Mucky at the moment as they head down the back straight on lap 3. Now this is, we should point out too, folks, this is a very quick 20-minute race. So it'll be somewhere in the vicinity of 18, 19 laps. You won't get much change out of that in these races. Any other rules that we should be mindful of, Nick, that occur in these races here?
This particular one, not so much. It's just 20 minutes, get in, get out. And also, because it's a winged car, it's a precursor to the GT3 in that sense. So in answer to your pre-race question, I would say 95% of these guys will be backing it up in the GTs.
Very nice. Oh, boy, Brock Kelly. Brock Kelly giving Adam St. John the hurry up there. Have a look at that. And then behind them was, I think, Jack Patterson as well. So Brock Kelly doing a nice job there to hold everyone at bay.
He's driving like a man on a mission. He's doing really well.
He certainly is. Charging through. Now, there's Michael Hammond. Across the back straight he goes now. This is lap 4.
He's just recorded a 1 minute 9.001. So 69 seconds on the dot pretty much.
Yeah, you can't get much closer than that, can you?
Yeah.
And he's opened up a lead of 1.3 seconds already. Julian Mucky in behind Warwick Sharp, and Adam Coughlin is 4th with Brett Selby-Wood in 5th. Back we go to this battle with Josh Millard. The ocular aerial shot shows and tells the story, Nick.
He's holding down, 7th place there, and he's got a conga line happening with him.
What about Reese Bolitho from 19th up to 8th? He hasn't mucked around.
Oh, wow, I didn't see that. There you go. Peter Matson from 22nd to 11th.
Yep.
And Rob Kelly from 21st to 12th as well. So those three doing a top job.
Some real solid charges here in the opening stages of this race, no doubt about that. Across the start-finish line one more time. Michael Hammond, Warwick Sharp, Julian Mucky, Adam Coughlin, Brett Selby with the top 5 here. And you can see the scroll across the top of your screen there telling you where your favourite driver sits at this point in time. SimShed Broadcasting bringing you round 1 of Season 3 for Intro to Wings and the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. The GT Series still to come. Don't forget as well, post-race show will follow. All the drivers will be stopping by to have a yak, and we look forward to hearing their insights, getting their thoughts on the Circuit de Catalunya Barcelona, or Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya as it is. It always used to be Circuit de Catalunya, and then they went and threw Barcelona in there when they really should have thrown that at the end.
It's like suburb and then city, city then suburb.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Say that with a lisp, don't you? Barcelona.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a very good thing Ida Buttrose isn't in the commentary box, let me tell you. Michael Hammond, 1.6 seconds to lead at the moment. Have a look at this. This is an ongoing fight between Josh Millard and also Reese Bolitho. And I believe
the Blinky Bill happening there.
Indeed he does. And just in behind them is Ben Collider as well. So keep an eye out on him as they head down the main straight to turn 1. Reese Bolitho down the inside. He has the run. He has the line. He has the position as well. Now can he pull it up at 1? It's always hard to get on the brakes for turn 1. It's a treacherous part of the racetrack because it is not the usual turn 1. It's a hairpin sort of corner. But he has got through and got the job done very cleanly, very smartly. And he now holds on to that'll put him up into position number 7 now with Josh Millard in behind in 8th. And we are already 7 minutes into this race. Michael Hammond leads by 1.6 seconds, but we've got our eyes peeled on this battle. It's an ongoing... Oh, trouble! 3 cars involved. No. And that looked like nothing more than netcode.
There we go,
Here's the replay for you. So you're watching Ben Collard here. And yeah, so there was a car already stopped there.
3 and 1 don't go.
Yeah. nowhere to go for Millard and Collard and, Belitho as well. My goodness. So, Ben Collard in all of that will filter back out into position number 9 here. Brett Selby-Wood sits 5th. Well, that was to be expected, I guess. He's copped a fair whack out of all of that, so more damage on that car. But this is the thing too, Nick, because it is a sprint race, pit stops will cruel you.
Yeah, so trying to eliminate pit stops, but if you have to take one, you're probably going to go a lap down. So the idea is just to sprint, just start understanding these cars and just go for it. Try and link 20 minutes of laps together rather than do the traditional 3 laps, crash, reset, 3 laps, crash, reset kind of thing. So puts a premium on concentration, this.
Indeed it does.
Oh, another car off the road.
That's Ash Phillip coming unstuck as well. Down at the end of the back straight. So Josh Millard, there he is on your screen now, still sitting 11th. Pete Matson ahead of him. Tell you what, plenty of action to keep your eyes on here, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. For the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club on a Monday night motorsport. It's good to have it back, isn't it? As I say, 20 races on a Monday night, 20 races on a Wednesday night, 30 races on a Friday night over the course of the season. It's 10 weeks. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. We hope you'll come along for the ride with us. We start in Spain. It's our only stop in Spain for the season. Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. That's not the first time I'll trip over that tonight.
just say it your way.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. The national course here, of course, is what's playing host to Intro to Wings. And we're riding on board.
Hammer time.
With Michael Hammer Time Hammond. And he sits there as the race leader at this point in time. A clear, commanding lead of 4.0 seconds. Really, it's not a surprise to see this man doing what he does. It doesn't matter whether he's in a tin top or an open wheeler or a car with 3 wheels. He always seems to find a way to the front.
Cream rises to the top.
Indeed it does.
The good thing is he'll be a good hare for these guys to chase. So Warwick has settled in behind him. Yes, the gap's blown out to 4 seconds, but for a fair while there, it wasn't much larger than a second, and he's going to learn a lot of track positioning, braking points, all that kind of stuff from Mikey. So no better instructor than just to follow him around.
On the run to turn 8 now of this configuration, of course. The full configuration is 16 turns, and we'll be bringing you racing with the GT3s very shortly on that, expecting a field of around 55, so we will have our work cut out for us tonight. There's no doubt about that. Across the start-finish line, another lap in the books. And that moves us on to lap 10 now. 10 minutes 28 in the books, so we're just past halfway as well. And obviously that's the thing too, Nick. We'd love to probably watch these guys race for a little bit longer than 20 minutes, but because there's so much happening within the club this season, we've had to manipulate the race times for a few categories here.
That's right, yeah. We don't want to tire them out.
Brock Kelly in the dirt.
Unlucky there.
And that was net code, I think.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
You can't predict. Well, you try and predict as best as you can where they're going to be, but sometimes they just pop up, and you have to do the best you can. He hasn't got any. I was just looking at his ping. Nothing's wrong with Reese's ping. It's just his quality's just dipping every now and again, and it just makes it unpredictable. It's unlucky. Part of sim racing, I guess.
It certainly is. So we go back to Brad Stroyescu now. Jack Patterson in ahead of him there. They're side by side on the exit of turn 1 through 2 and 3.
Williams coloured car.
And somewhat of a Renault takeoff, is it not behind him?
Yeah, it looks similar.
Yeah. Well,
it's always good to come out with good liveries.
Indeed, Michael Hammond the leader, Warwick Sharp in behind him. Then Julian Mucky. You're currently watching the battle down the order here for 14th and 15th. But that's a great testament to this class. We've got battles pretty much everywhere we look, Nick.
Yeah, literally, you beat me to it. you've got someone to race no matter where you are.
Yep.
So Mikey's trying to run away from everybody, but if you look even on the track map, everybody's got somebody within reach.
Next week it's Brands Hatch for these guys. We stay in Europe, and there's a real European-centric flavour to this season on a Monday night, which we're really excited about. But this is our only stop in Spain. Again, iRacing, they've only got select venues outside of America, and we're kind of looking at the Spanish venues that we can think of, and they probably need to add a couple more. But no, it's been great racing so far.
I'm sure there's a list on the forums that keeps growing bigger day by day. So
absolutely, and given, and we've spoken about this a few times as we watch Hammer Time come into turn one more time, lap 12 of this race. Reminding you, of course, it is only 7 minutes to go here, so it's a 20-minute sprint. So that's going to get us up to around 18-19 laps of racing. Stoyescu,
I was about to say
getting the job done there.
Reese Belifo, Peter Matson battle they're pretty much on the same second. So I don't know if we can get to that one, but
we actually just had to give Reese a black flag. Yeah, his net was dropping out and he caused quite a few incidents. Not his fault, but just
it's not his fault. Unlucky.
Black flag, so he's out of the race. Not out of the race, but out of the competition.
Out of contention. Yeah.
But not his fault. Internet issues.
It's a good thing that you are back in here, Paul Nichols, because is there anything else that we should be aware of from a race control standpoint?
Stage, it's been pretty. I mean, a lot of incidents that were not caused by anyone. People spinning on their own, causing incidents, racing incidents. So nothing that we would say that we need to review at this stage.
Okay, copy that. Michael Hammond leads this race. We're currently watching Jack Patterson. And now we're going back to Michael Hammond. So Michael's weaving his way through lap traffic at this point in time. In fact, only the top 16 remain on the lead lap. We have had a couple of retirements, not least Grant Gill and Luke Keamy. And you can add Josh Thomas to the mix there as well now. And we've got Ben Collard in trouble coming around onto the main straight as well. But we'll stay with Hammer Time.
Notable mentions, Peter Matson, 22nd to 8th, and Wayne Visser, 23rd to 9th.
Very good effort from both of those men. And we'll have to remember to mention Driver of the Night here as well, folks, because the fact of the matter is we've got 2 races now, so our Driver of the Night segment just continues to expand as the season goes on. One thing we've made mention of, Nick, and we'll say it a few times throughout the course of the season on the subject of the growing list of circuit requests and everything else, iRacing should have a fair nickel to play with after being everyone's go-to during COVID-19. So let's hope they put it to good use.
Yeah, I hope they can get some more tracks on the scan.
That's it.
Goal, I hope. Looks like, is that Brock Kelly that just got lapped? No, Brock Kelly's the next one. So that would have been Josh Miller, who just got passed by Mikey Hammond there.
So that'll take it, as I say, 15 cars still on the lead lap, and when Brock Kelly goes the lap down, if he hasn't already. In fact, actually, I think that was Brock Kelly now, because we picked up Nigel Patton, who is ahead of Ash Phillip there. So, yeah, Brock Kelly has just gone a lap down. Oh, over the ripples. That was Nigel Patton, and that very messy.
Somewhere. Oh, Mikey, you intimidated everybody.
Have a look at that, would you? I mean, whenever there's no way through, Michael Hammond just manages to clear a path for himself. It's like Jesus walking on water. Have a look at that. That was just brilliant from Hammond. Fantastic. So 16 minutes, 16 seconds gone last time by the line. So we're inside the final 4 laps now. In fact, we should get back for lap 19. Just have a look at this too. Hammond going through. That's all right. We'll come back to our replay for you next time. Onto the back straight he goes one more time. He's in complete control here. The margin 6.0 seconds. And this will be chalk up 1 for the new season for Michael Hammond. And I tell you what, he's someone that dominated production cars, dominated Hump Day last season, loved it, and cleaned up accordingly. Now he'll be out to make his mark on Intro to Wings as well. Just to prove a point. Nah,
He
not
doesn't
at
need
all.
a big coat of wings.
He doesn't, but he's giving us one, which is good to see. Round onto the main straight one more time. Michael Hammond across the line to complete lap 15. So we're going to get to 18 laps here, folks. 3 laps to go. Make it, 3 laps to go. My apologies. So that'll get us to about 18:35, 19:44. So we're just going to squeeze in the last lap there. As Hammond fires it into turn 1 now.
Yeah, the Jack Patterson, Justin Skewkert fight is the closest one on track at the moment. I think Mikey's right amongst that too.
I was going to say, it's really just fizzled out, hasn't it? Somewhat unfortunately.
Fizzled out in terms of the door-to-door, the wheel-to-wheel stuff, but
Yeah.
After a while, I know you would know the same thing too. In karting, you just start chasing lap time, start chasing corners, and you start going, "Can I get closer to him? Oh look,
Yep.
get around this corner. He's a bit closer now. Yes, I'm getting to him." So
Yeah. On that very subject, Queensland Karting Championships. Really looking forward to them in at the Ipswich Kart Club next weekend, and of course, good luck to all our mates. Oh, that was almost trouble. How in the name of holy Moses did they manage to get through there? Jack Patterson side by side, and
with the grass.
oh, well, he did well not to lose it there as well.
Oh wow!
That's madness. We're on the penultimate lap here.
On the inside, here comes another Williams car.
3 wide under 1. The up and under. Jack Patterson. Oh, he had nowhere to go, but he got the job done. My goodness gracious me. Oh, it fizzled out in the top placings. This is for 12th, 13th, and 14th, for goodness sake. Have a look at this. Jack Patterson, Ash Phillip, and Brock Kelly in there. Magnificent racing.
Up the inside. Oh, he made him outbrake himself.
Oh, too late. Patterson goes too deep. So Ash Phillip picks up the pieces there.
Wow, that was some great excitement, especially through those last turns and those first few turns. Mikey Hammond, by the way, is just by himself.
Yep, and he'll get 1 lap to go this time round. Holy moly. I had trouble picking up who was who there. It's just all happening, all in a terribly good amount of excitement for your Monday night, ladies and gentlemen, as they come down on the last lap now. Michael Hammond. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Michael Hammond will lead them round. This is his final lap, the 18th and final lap of the race. Checkered flag will fly this time by. Hammond clear by 7.1 seconds. Julian Muckey sits 3rd. Brett Selby-Wood, Adam Cogler making up the top 5. You can see the running order there at the top of your screen. Only the top 9 remain on the lead lap. Wayne Visser, the last on the lead lap. He sits 9th. That madness you were watching there a moment ago, that was Kelly, Phillip, Patterson, Schweikort. Oh, I mean, it was just fantastic stuff. And Stoyescu as well.
Just quickly, Mikey Hammond on 0 incidents. Brett Selby-Wood on 0 incidents. Adam Coughlin on 1. Warwick Sharp on 1. Wayne Visser on 0. Who else? Julian Muckey on 1. Sean Reese on 1. And they're basically the 1s and 0s. Everybody else has got multiple.
Checkered flag for Michael Hammond. Hammer time starts the season in style. Smashes them in Spain. Job done. Dominant performance. 7.1 seconds in the end from Michael Hammond back to Warwick Sharp, and he now can ride it up in the Pro Mazda in celebration in Victory Lane. He won't have much time to celebrate because he's got to turn it around and go and race in the GT3s in just a moment. But Michael Hammond wins by 9.6 seconds to Warwick Sharp. Julian Muckey was 3rd. Then Brett Selby-Wood's going to come across the line 4th. Adam Coughlin will round out the top 5. 18 laps in the end. What great racing that was.
Walk in the park for Hammond.
Oh, and then some. It was just a casual stroll. It wasn't even it wasn't even one of those tasks where you had the clock on and you were trying to.
managed to
Yeah.
get behind.
Exactly. It was just one of those things where it was leisurely. You didn't have any time to waste. Time wasn't an issue. He did it beautifully. Hammond from Sharp, Mucky, Selbywood, Coughlin, Reese, then Matson, Collard, Vizza, and Phillip making up the top 10 there.
Yeah, Mikey's fastest lap was a good, I think, half second faster than anybody else, and there was only a handful of people in the 109s. I have to start giving them some success weight or something.
Exactly. 100%. I'm not sure if we'll have much of an opportunity to bring these guys in for chat because I think most of them are going to swing by into the GT3 server, which we'll probably do the same as well. But we'll update you on championship points, of course, at the end of the night if Adam Lavis is able to crunch some numbers for us. But if not, we'll get them to you at the start of next week's broadcast as well. So we hope you're enjoying our broadcast tonight. SimShed Broadcasting bringing you all the action for the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. And Michael Hammond getting the job done in the first race of the night from Warwick Sharp, Julian Mucky, Brett Selbywood, Adam Coughlin, and Sean Rees made up the top 6. And then just going outside the top 10 there, I just want to have a look down. I didn't get a chance to run through. Patterson was 11th, Schweikort 12th, Patton, Millard, and Reinhardt made up the top 15, with Brock Kelly slipping down to 16th. Heffernan, Striescu, St. John, and Keane made up the top 20. Reese Bolitho just outside with Josh Thomas, Luke Keamy, and Grant Gill. Of course, the latter three not finishing the race there. So that's that. We hope you've enjoyed that. It's been good fun. Paul Nichols, your thoughts, your observations on what you've seen so far?
Yeah, it looks lots of incidents as you'd expect. A lot of new drivers in these cars. Nothing that I don't think we need to review. I think most of it was handled in race. Unfortunately, we had a couple of internet issues. Reese had a couple of internet issues. He had to jump out. Good start to the season, I think. So looking forward to the next round and looking forward to the pros GT3s, which will be fantastic.
Indeed, it will. Looking forward to seeing how many are in the server there. We'll do that for you next. This is the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. It's Monday Night Motorsport on SimShed Broadcasting for, of course, all of our great sponsors: Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hooker Gander, Oculair Aerial Photography, Flash Graphics, Simple Sim Computers, and Racecraft. We'll be back with more for you in just a moment. Michael Hammond getting the job done. Intro to Wings, the Pro Mazdas, they're back next week from Brands Hatch Indy. And next, we turn our attention to the first race of the new season for the GT3. See you soon. Nice to have your company wherever you're tuning in this Monday night. Gentlemen Sim Racing Club action coming away from the circuit at Barcelona, Catalonia, of course. Round 1 of Season 3 in 2020. And our attention turning from intro to wings to the GT3 Series. And it's great to have this championship back on track, of course, after what was an awesome 10-round series in Season 2. Dennis Gaderick winning in Season 2, of course, so he'll be out to defend the title. But there are some real top shelf competitors coming in to give him a run for his money. In fact, tonight in the server already, we can tell you that there are 47 cars getting ready to line up here for race 1, and we're looking forward to it immensely. So, 45 minutes will be the race distance here. We are in the middle of qualifying, which is a 30-minute session. So our times have been altered a little bit for this new season. We were getting ready for an 8:20 start time. It's now going to be closer to 8:25 in terms of the race start. Just in a bid to give those of us in the broadcast booth a little bit of extra time to get out of one race into the other and get set up, ready to go. So it does buy these guys a little bit more race time, which is good, or track time, I should say, because the races remain 45 minutes in the first 9 weeks and then 2 hours for that Mount Panorama finale in week 10. The practice session, 40 minutes. The qualifying session, 30 minutes in length. And he's qualifying on screen for you now. 16 turns this circuit. We've got our eyes peeled on so many different competitors in this field. There are so many names that we should be talking about here. Emmerich Candola's at the top of the time sheets at the moment, at 1:44.955. Glenn Postlethwaite's back. Yanni Sortoriou, he's in the field. Of course, he dominated the Pro-Am split in the last season. He's automatically been booted up into the Pro split. We've got Dennis Gaderick. We've got Brenton Hobson. You've got... Richard Hunter's in there. Just having a look down through the order to see who else is there. Ross Ponting, Paul Wood, Chris Whitaker, Ben Snell, Brendan Whitaker, Richard Hunter, all having a crack, which is going to be good to watch. 47 cars have logged a time so far in this qualifying session. You see on the scroller there, that tells you who's running where at the moment on the left-hand side of your screen. Also tells you that we're only 21 minutes into the session, so 9 minutes to go. And you're following Maverick Benson. So we're We're 8.5 minutes out from the end of this session. Ben Snell, 24th at the moment. He's coming towards the end of his lap. Now, Paul Nichols will be rejoining me very shortly. Nick's had to duck off to attend to an outside broadcasting commitment, so he'll be joining us about halfway through race 1 here of this third season. And we should just remind you that next week we head to the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Now, that threw up a cracker of a race in season 1, won by Trent Lavis. So it'll be interesting to see if Trent can continue his form in the new season. Now, you saw on your screen there a few seconds ago the track conditions for this round. we're on the right date for a change. We're on the 21st of September. We're a few hours into the future, though. We're currently 4:07 track time. Now, I can tell you that's about 4 hours into the future because it's 12 o'clock in Spain at this point in time as we go to air. We're following Scott Griffiths around at the moment. I'll have a look through the running order in terms of lap times for you in just a moment, folks. Obviously, at the top of your screen there, you can see the totem scroll. On the bottom of your screen, oh, big one. Big off there for Scott Griffiths. That'll put pay to that lap for him. Geez, that was nasty. We'll get a replay of this for you. This was on the run up to turn 4. And he's just locked it up on the exit. Got it all crossed up, went way too wide. And speared off to the left-hand side into the wall. Crunch. That'll put him back in the pit lane. Thanks to the team there for the replay. Now, incident points. Interesting to talk about. Incident count penalties will be 15. So they're getting less and less. We're becoming less tolerant of incidents. And then every 5 points after that. The fast repair limit is 1. And, 45% fuel limit for these cars, which will vary from car to car, of course, how much fuel you'll get out of it, because each car has a different tank capacity, but also fuel burn. As I say, 4:09 track time as we bring you this. Partly cloudy, 23 degrees, track temp 32. And we're looking forward to what should be an awesome race here. Pit lane speed limit and pace car speed limit are the same, 80 kilometres an hour. So we're allowed to transit pit lane just a little bit faster this season, Paul Nichols, than what we were last season. And that'll make things interesting as well.
Yeah, definitely a pit stop during this race, so 45% fuel capacity. So, it'd be interesting. I think at the moment, everyone's set a time, which is good. So if they don't set a qualifying time, they have to start in pit lane, part of the new rules for Season 3.
Yeah, we were mentioning that with Nico Pop earlier in the broadcast when we were talking about intro to wings, sort of to discourage the burn from the stern approach, although that's not going to stop him from doing the burn from the stern from the pit lane. He's pretty adamant about that. And we should point out as well, folks, at the bottom of your screen there, this is the point that I didn't get a chance to make. If you're watching the time scroll there, you're not necessarily watching the... we're on board with Glenn Postlethwaite at the moment. You're not necessarily getting the times down the bottom of the screen there for the car that we're watching, but you will be able to see whether they're up or down on their previous times. So green will be faster, personal faster to the first sector, red will be slower, and purple will be outright fastest. So keep an eye out for that. We haven't seen any purple boxes light up just yet, and there's a car in the middle of the circuit there, and everyone did well to miss him. So Glenn Postlethwaite, good to have him back on the grid, Nico. In fact, some real superstar heavyweight power at the front of this field tonight. Yeah,
absolutely. Look at the results so far. You got Amrit, Candola, Glenn Postlethwaite, Hobbo, Bretton Hobson, Yanni Sotorio. Is that how we pronounce it? Sotorio. Paul Mansell, who's the new member. He's very quick. Dennis Gatrick. Guy Leach as well. Guy Leach very well. He's a very good driver as well. So that top 10, certainly into those top 10, when you think about drop rounds, could certainly be in for the season.
Indeed, they could. So, closing stages of this qualifying session. Race start coming up in about 4 minutes' time, ladies and gentlemen. Rolling start, 45 minutes. First past the post after 45 minutes. We'll get the checkered flag and the victory in this round of the GT Series. 10 rounds, eclectic mix of circuits, Paul Nichols. When you look at the calendar, we've got Monza, we've got 3 trips to the United Kingdom, we've got Bathurst finishing it off. We've gone away from that North American field that the last series had. We had 4 rounds in North America. I think this time around it's 1.
Yeah, we're actually following the VRS official series, so the official series from iRacing, so that the drivers can do some practice during the week and then during the week prior, and then jump in and race with the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. So that's the intention behind it. We're going to follow the official series, so everyone gets a chance to do some practice in officials and then jump in the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club Monday night session.
For the benefit of those of you that haven't seen the calendar, I'll quickly run through it for you. Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya starts us off. That's, of course, tonight. Then we go to Brands Hatch next week. Okayama gets another run on the calendar in round 3. That'll be Monday, October 5. Then we go to South America in our first trip to the Interlagos circuit in Brazil. That'll be an excellent night out. Don't worry about that. Zandvoort follows, which will be huge. Alton Park, Monza, Donington Park, Sonoma Raceway in California, and then Mount Panorama Bathurst. So in terms of the GT series, yes, we've had a race at Brands Hatch already this year. That was in season 1. Same too with Okayama. We haven't had GT races at any of the other circuits with the exception of Mount Panorama Bathurst. So a completely different kettle of fish. 3 circuits we've visited before, but I mean, with balance of performance upgrades, iRacing upgrades, and everything else that's been going on, it's completely anyone's guess as to who might win this championship, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think balance of performance is one of those things that everyone talks about. I personally think that, I mean, you look at Hobbo. I think Hobbo's still in the. He's actually in the Ferrari. So he's jumped from the AMG to the Ferrari. So there's been a few changes during the season. I think Hobbo had enough of the AMG, and he's certainly one of the.
I think everyone had enough of the AMG, actually.
Yeah, I think so. But knowing iRacing, I would put my money on it. There will be a BOP update during the season, and there'll be some adjustments.
Yep. Oh, without doubt, absolutely. Now, should also point out, neither yourself or Nick having a run at the moment. Nick's going to stick to commentary when he's here. He's not here at the moment. He'll be back in about 20 minutes, we're told. But also, you're somewhat in a position where if you wanted to have a run, you could, just not tonight because someone has to play race control for the absent Michael Porter.
Yeah, Michael Porter's wife, Mel Porter, who's a sponsor for the first season.
That's right. We have to say happy birthday.
So happy birthday, Mel. Happy birthday, Mel. Hope you're watching.
Absolutely. What better way to spend a birthday? Well, actually, I can't talk because I had the birthday off. But what better way to spend your birthday than with a cold one on the couch watching sim race? Absolutely.
Well,
I would take it. I'll hazard a guess.
Hopefully, Michael's taking her out to dinner.
I was going to say, if he hasn't, he'll probably be sleeping in the kennel.
I think he might be watching on his phone. I don't know.
Exactly.
You never know.
We look forward to having him back next week. It'll be fantastic. Rightio, qualifying at an end here. Checkered flag waving. And actually, no, I stand corrected. There are still some lap times being recorded here in the closing stages.
Got about a minute.
We have
left to queue, yeah.
Yeah, we have got rid of we have elapsed the 30 minutes, so I was right there. I was just getting a little bit confused while the clicker was still going up, but no, it's because we're still watching a couple of laps be clocked here in the closing stages of this session. At which point we will end up with our grid, and I might actually start running through that now, Paul Nichols, because it is monumental. It is massive. The field here tonight. I'm just watching the car of Scott Griffiths come around onto the main straight this time round as well. There's standard procedure. Crunch her up once you finish. Now we're getting ready for what should be an awesome race here, and the grid looks like this. Glenn Postlethwaite has the first pole position of the season. Now you might be seeing a couple of I don't know what you're seeing, Nico, but I'm seeing a couple of different colours to what everyone else will be seeing at home, because I think there's been a trading paints glitch, but that's okay. We'll sort that out. What we can tell you is Glenn Postlethwaite and Emmerich Candola will share the front row here. That's the circuit. They're the statistics for you. 24 degrees, partly cloudy. beautiful conditions for racing on this 16-turn, 4.6 kilometre circuit. And Glenn Postlethwaite, Emmerich Candola will be a front row. Brenton Hobson, Dennis Gaderick, of course, second row. Yanni Sorteria, the third row, alongside Paul Mansell, then Guy Leach and Trent Lavis. Then we go back to Michael Cracknell and Paul Rogers. So some new names, not just for you, but for us as well, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Hunter and Richard Hunter share row 6. Luke Turner and Maverick Benson share row 7. There's the qualifying results up on your screen now. Row 8 is, of course, Scott Nolan and Michael Angus. Row 9 is Dan Siciliano and also Ben Miller. John Merritt and Richard Mitchum from row 10. We go down outside the top 20 here. And even then, I just scrolled too far. Glenn Riddell and Chris Whitaker. Good to have Chris back on the grid. Then Ross Ponting, Richard Hunter, Paul Wood, Ben Snell, then Brendan Whitaker, Jamie Welch, then Jack Allisey and Jamie Michon. Daniel Green and Scott Griffiths share row 16. Row 17 is Lee Siddles and Aaron Cooper. Row 18, Dave Trevathan and Daniel Birchnell. Row 19 is Rick Sibber and Rick Vincent. Row 20 is James Wood and Warwick Sharp. Row 21 is Adam Lavis and Ross Green. It just keeps going. Row 22 is Justin Schreicourt. And then, of course, Andrew Goldman. Then we go back to Stone Cold Matt Austin on row 23 alongside Jared Daly and Josh Fora, rounding out this 47-car field for this opening race of the season. And it's a race that we are very much looking forward to, Paul Nichols. Have you got a tip on who might win here?
Oh, geez, I think anyone in the top 10, really. You think of the quality of the field there. So you look at Glenn, Emmerich, Brenton, Dennis, Yanni, Paul Mansell, Guy Leach. I mean, they're all top drivers. So, but also anyone from the top 20, really, when you think about some incidents. So let's see how it goes. It's going to be an exciting race.
Indeed it is. Hope you'll enjoy it right here. Simshed Broadcasting right around Australia. This will be an absolute perler. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and on that subject, get on the New Gentleman Sim Racing Club broadcast page on Facebook, like that, and stay up to date with when we're going broadcasting on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night. Already a few comments rolling in here. In fact, from Yanni Sorteriu, he was pretty happy with how things were looking. Not too many other comments at this point in time. Just the 7 of you tuning in, but we appreciate the support of those 7. And again, that's another thing, Nico. We're changing broadcast partners, changing platforms. Got to try and get everyone over to like the new page before we go racing so that we can build the audience.
Well, I think we're definitely on enough platforms. We have YouTube,
that's it, yeah, exactly.
By Simshed, and our Facebook page, Simshed's Twitch channel as well, and YouTube as well. So it's, you look, you look at the turnout tonight. I think the pre-race replays will be fantastic. I think there'll be a lot of the drivers that jump in there and want to watch what's going on.
Getting set for a start. The new season is underway in the GT3 Series. Brilliant start from Glenn Postlethwaite immediately. Jumping out in front. 2 and 3 wide and behind as they stretch it down the front straight towards turn 1. Look at this. Let's hope they can safely scramble their way through turn 1 and 2 because this is very, very tight. This is the problem sector of the circuit. Already 1 around. 2 around, in fact. There's a little bit of trouble through turn 1 and 2. We'll wait and see if a caution flag gets thrown. But mostly clean despite a couple of cars coming unstuck. And that's somewhat of a no surprise given the action we've seen in the GT3 series thus far across the 2 championships, Paul Nichols. When you throw in a tight turn 1, turn 2 chicane hairpin section similar to, I'm thinking Summit Point, I'm thinking Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, I'm thinking a couple of others, we always, certainly the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, we end up with a situation where trying to get 47 into 1 is seemingly impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just looking at some of the incidents right now, and there's, certainly a little bit too much eager, I think, progress through the field there. So, and certainly a lot to review after the race, I'd say.
Rightio, at the front, Glenn Postlethwaite and Emmerich Candola. Postlethwaite running the lime green Kermit colours tonight as they stretch out of turn 12 for the first time to 13. We're right on board with Emmerich Candola. The pick and stick rule remains as well, folks. So it was a very popular feature of the last championship until the balance of performance update. Now everyone's had a chance to regroup, rethink their choices. You can see Dennis Gaderick's been loyal to Ferrari, but there have been a couple of other changes throughout the field. It is open to 6 different manufacturers, of course. The Ford GT, BMW, Mercedes, Ferrari, Audi, all in there, and also McLaren. And there's a fair variety right across the field tonight through turn 3. One more time. So Glenn Postlethwaite, he leads the race from Emmerich Candola. You're watching Brenton Hobson in 3rd place now. Right on the top 3 here. Enjoy the onboard shots. On board with, we were on board with Brendan Hobson. We'll just jump back there to Paul Mansell. And Paul Mansell is sitting there in 5th place, following Dennis Gaderick through, actually. Gaderick was talking about the potential of running the Ford GT this season. He said, he might be able to get something out of it, but it looks as though he's decided to stick with what he knows. Brenton Hobson's jumped into the Ferrari, which is good to see. Paul Mansell's gone with the Ford GT. Interesting choice of cars at the top end of town.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Ferrari 1, Emirates, so Ferrari, Audi. So Audi 2. Ferrari, Dennis in an Audi. Paul Mansell's in a Ford GT. So, yeah, look, maybe iRacing got their BOP set. I'm not sure. No AMGs in the front, though. That's interesting. That's
very interesting. And no Jackson Rayhana on the grid either. No Michael Hammond on the grid. And yet we've still got 47 cars, despite missing some star power at the top end of town. Yeah, so turn 1 we go again.
Jackson's got another commitment, so he'll be back in week 4.
Okay, week 4. Wow. That's giving everyone a fair leg up at the start, isn't it?
And also Mikey qualified in the second split with me.
Yeah, righto. I'm a little bit surprised by that.
Yeah, so am I.
I would have expected Mikey to be in the top split for sure. This is lap 3. It's a 45-minute race, folks. You're watching Glenn Postlethwaite getting the hurry up from Emmerich Candola. I should say, I didn't actually notice that Dennis was in the Audi. I was trying to figure out what he was driving there at the start. But yeah, the Audi, that's a surprising choice. But then when you look at the front and said that Emirates also running one, not the BMW, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And there'd be a few different reasons for the selection of these cars as well, Paul Nichols, because it is a completely different set of circuits compared to last season. Maybe the boys have done a little bit of homework in the last week and worked out the Audi is going to be more to their liking on certain circuits than what the BMW or the Ferrari might have been.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about the guys up the front, they certainly spend more time practicing and sorting out the car choice. So, yeah, it certainly wouldn't surprise me that they've worked out. I mean, both these cars are mid-engine, so it might tell you something.
Yeah, indeed it might. Round onto the main straight one more time. How tight it is at the front of the field. The top 5 separated by 1.8 seconds. Don't rule Paul Mansell out of this as well. He's following Dennis Gaderick through at this point in time, who you're watching on screen there. Gaderick, of course, following Hobson. Hobson trying to stick with Candola, who's trying to find a way past Postlethwaite at the moment. Lap 4. And have a look at this. Candola was right up there on the inside, still up there on the inside of Postlethwaite, but Postlethwaite shuts the door. Postlethwaite, we know, so good when it comes to stock car racing, Paul Nichols. Now trying his hand at the GT3s. He's tried his hand here before without a lot of success, often getting caught up in other people's incidents. The key to obviously not getting caught up in other incidents is to lead from the front, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's certainly one of the class drivers in the whole field. I think he's doing a really good job at the moment. He's certainly under pressure at the moment from Emmerich and Brenton as well. So the first of the front engine rear drive cars is Luke Turner, so in the BMW.
Down the back straight. Yeah, and he's down there in position number 8. So that goes to show you the advantage of the rear engine. Oh, I tell you what, that was Hobson leaving the door open for Gaderick to come up on the inside. And that was Hobson just trying a little bit too hard. Running a little bit too deep into turn 10, almost running into the tail of Emmerich Candola, and then making himself susceptible to Gaderick. So Gaderick now will have a sniff, possibly on the other side of the ripple strips there, using the runoff area to his advantage. He'll probably get a 1x for that. Round onto the main straight, still manages to hold the lead though. These guys are giving it everything and a little bit more here in the opening stages. 7 minutes of racing down, and here comes Emmerich Candola firing it down the inside on the run to turn 1. He'll have the inside line. Who's bravest under brakes? Oh, Possum White ends up having to yield, does he? No, he wants to fire it and force the issue around the outside. That's going to give him the inside for turn 2, and Possum White will still hold the lead here. Have a look at Hobson now wanting to fire it around the outside. He thinks better of it. He tucks back in, and Gaderick's right there with him as well. Great racing here. Paul Mansell's fallen right off this battle. He's now 4 seconds down the road, so I'm not sure what happened to Paul Mansell, but we've got... Oh, he crashed, I'm getting told. Okay. So he's had an off-track excursion and he's crashed there. Speaking of crashes, there was almost one there involving all 3 of the top 3 there. Hobson on the inside of Candola on the inside of Possum Lake. Oh boy, take a breath. We're only 7 minutes into this, Paul Nichols, but already we're getting a taste of what's to come over the next 10 weeks, and I like what we're seeing thus far. These guys have come out all guns blazing. If all races are as good as this one is from the top anyway, we're in for a special 10 weeks.
Oh, I was looking at the pre-qualifying times actually today, and I think there was from the top 60 drivers that pre-qualified, there was something like, might have been 1.6 seconds between the top 60, which is amazing.
Quick Monday Night Football update, of course. It all hinges on this. Port Adelaide's 34, Collingwood 24 at the moment, third quarter underway. If Collingwood can upset Port Adelaide there, Brisbane finish top of the ladder. If Collingwood can win, that is, but if Port Adelaide win, they'll be first to the post after 18 rounds of football. So I'll give you the full-time score there. When the race winds down here, 9 minutes of racing in the books here. Glenn Postlethwaite continues to lead this race. 0.3 of a second over Emmerich Candola. They've gapped Brenton Hobson and Dennis Gaderick. So it's just the 2 of them fighting it out now. Gaderick and Hobson fighting over third, but as you can see there's about half a second now. In fact, almost a second separating second and third. It was about quarter of a second this time last lap. So Hobson and Gaderick just slipping off a little bit. However, long way to go. Somewhat surprising. No safety cars thus far. And now we go down to Richard Hunter here, ladies and gentlemen. And Richard Hunter's up there on the outside. He's in position number 19 at the moment. So he's on the outside there in the same ballpark as Maverick Benson and Brendan Whitaker and Ross Ponting as well.
I think Paul Wood just had a bit of an incident there and just lost a bit of traction, and Richard got past him. And
Paul Wood, losing out as well. Oh, up on the inside, that's Candola. That's for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Emmerich Candola and Glenn Postlethwaite side by side through 10 and 11, and then contact through 12. And Postlethwaite muscles the youngster out and says, "No, thank you, sir. Just wait your turn. I'm going to lead this for a little bit longer." Magnificent elbows out racing right from the get-go here. If any of these boys make it through without incident points, they've driven a very, very clean race. It's been clean so far, but not without a little bit of niggle, and that's exactly what we like.
Absolutely. Rubbing's racing, mate. Rubbing's racing. That's what we want.
100%.
Great respectful racing from the guys up the front there. Fantastic.
Absolutely. 9 times out of 10, that could have turned into a 2-car incident. Boys in the gravel trap, a real respect shown between the 2 drivers to keep it on the black stuff and keep the race alive. A reminder that we're only 11 minutes into it, so there's still 34 minutes to go. They need to be there at the end. That's when the points are paid. Now, Emmerich Candola. I mean, if Glenn Postlethwaite didn't already realise he had a race on his hands here, he had a real task on his hands. He does now, even though they've managed to gap the rest of the pack. And that's Hobson and Gaderick chasing in behind there. And Gaderick's actually got by Hobson, it's important to note. So even though it's fizzled out from a 4-car fight to a 2-car fight, Candola's going with Postlethwaite here. That's really key to note right from the get-go. So, Postlethwaite leads them across the back stretch one more time. On the run to turn number 10. We go back to Guy Leach, who sits there behind Paul Mansell, actually. So that's a battle for 5th and 6th in this race. They're closing in on Brenton Hobson as well. The two teammates working together here, Leach and Mansell. I'm assuming they're teammates. They're running the same livery.
But yeah, I would assume the same, yes.
Yeah, I'm jumping to conclusions here, and if I'm wrong, I'll retract it next week. But I'm assuming that they're running the same because they're running in team unison here. And that's the thing. Like, so is the expansion of sim racing that it's now become more than just an individual sport. It's become a team sport as well, Paul.
Absolutely. I mean, we had the team charity event on the weekend, the Bathurst 1000.
Oh, have a look at this. Emmerich Candola getting it crossed up. Oh, can you believe that? Candola got it crossed up at one and he spun. And he's gone. And Postlethwaite was on the exit of that as well. Can you believe this? Here's the replay. On the run to one. Candola down the inside. Postlethwaite gave him the room and then muscled him out. And that was a racing incident as far as I'm concerned, Paul Nichols. I know you guys in race control have your work cut out for you, but when you look at that, it was a clean move. It's just unfortunate that the tail end of it wasn't able to be pulled off nicely by Emmerich, in the sense that he got it crossed up, he couldn't control it, and Glenn was in the way.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have the rule in the club, you need to be up to the B pillar, so we'll definitely check that out after the race and make sure where he was. But yeah, look, to me, racing incident, but we'll double check.
Wow. What madness. Because that's going to allow Dennis Gaderick to take the lead and continue exactly where he picked up, or left off, I should say, pick up where he left off a fortnight ago. Madness.
Yeah,
Great
too early
stuff
for that stuff, but yeah, you got to send it sometimes.
Oh, look, I don't necessarily think that it was too early for it. I mean, Candola had bided his time. He was waiting for his moment. It's just that in the execution of the move, he's just got it crossed up. And that's easy enough to do. 9 times out of 10, he doesn't get it crossed up. But that one time that he does, it takes out the two main leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on, these cars have ABS and traction control as well. So you can turn down ABS. So a turn down ABS is you really need to be really gentle on the pedal and make sure that you're not locking the wheels up. And sometimes you push it too hard, you'll lock the wheels up. And particularly in mid-engine cars, the wheel will go around.
Just having a look down through the field for some big movers here early on. There are some. Luke Turner from 13th to 5th. Ben Miller from 18th to 6th. Scott Nolan from 15th to 7th. And Michael Angus from 16th to 9th. John Merritt 19th to 10th. Then Dan Siciliano from 17th to 11th. Chris Whitaker from 22nd to 12th. And Richard Hunter from 24th to 13th. Paul Wood 25th to 14th. Some big movers here early on, including Brendan Whitaker as well. 27th up to 17th. And 33rd up to 20th for Lee Siddles. So already the big moves happening here. Rick Sibra, 37th up to 23rd. And that's about it for the time being in terms of the big movers that are worth noting of. And that also comes into consideration when we vote for our driver of the day at the end of the broadcast. Have a look at this. This is Maverick Benson. And I'm just trying to pick up who that is with him at the moment. Maverick Benson's just got by there. I think Richard Hunter and Brendan Whitaker in this as well. Yes, they are. And Emmerich Candola coming back through the pack. So stay with Emmerich Candola here because he's going to try and make light work of Richard Hunter up there on the outside going down to turn 10. And he does that quite comfortably. Richard Hunter in the end ended up losing 2 spots out of all of that because Ross Ponting followed Emmerich through. Brendan Whitaker the next target. Then Maverick Benson, who's managed to gap Brendan Whitaker by about 3 car lengths. Round they come. Turn 12. We ride on board with Candola. Glenn Postlethwaite's dropped back down to 8th position. We should point out after starting first, Candola 18th. So the incident was a lot worse for Candola than what it was for Postlethwaite. Postlethwaite just by being on the outside had nowhere to go and ended up being an innocent bystander, as we mentioned there a short time ago. Down the main straight. This is Candola in the slipstream here. on the run down to turn 1. Not able to make a move yet, but he's setting it up, I think, for probably turn 4. Have a look at him now, right around the outside. Through turn 3, gives him a little bit of a hurry up, does Candola on Whittaker here. A run to turn 3, Whittaker's going to have it covered for the moment. Notice at the bottom of your screen there as well, there is a pit stop underway. So you'll see those pit stop times popping up on your screen during the course of the race as well. All courtesy of live timing. It's an impressive setup that SimShed has. There is no doubt about that. JP and his team doing a great job as per usual. Great to have them on board for the broadcast tonight. And a shout out to Robert Hazelden from Dual Drift Esports, our former broadcast partner, who is tuning in as well. He's just like the post that I shared across to Facebook as well. So, no doubt starting to enjoy his Monday nights off. Probably a little bit too much, knowing Robert. Huge thanks to all the great people that put the Gentleman Sim Racing Club broadcast to air. Of course, SimShed Broadcasting, Simple Sim Computers, Flash Graphics, Ocular, LJ Hook Gaindar, Central Coast Subaru, and Racecraft as well. Can't do it without great sponsors, and thankfully, I'm pleased to say the club's sponsor list is expanding in the back half of 2020, which is good signs for sim racing going forward. And how's the old membership drive going, Paul Nichols?
Yeah, I think as of this week, we're about 315 paid financial members for the club.
Excellent. So that's, you've expanded about 35 this month alone.
Yeah, absolutely. The club's growing immensely, and I think it's a credit to the back end of the club. We put a lot of time into making sure that we have rules and regulations, and everyone's communicated with. And Facebook's probably our biggest friend. Jump on our Facebook page, join the Facebook page, have a look at what we do. Fantastic. We've got SimShed Broadcasts on board, and it's going to be a fantastic season.
So, Dennis Gaderick, I've just had him here. He's just clocked the fastest lap of the race there, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And he is in complete control at the moment. Running the number 1 somewhat appropriately after winning the last season. And only wrapped up a fortnight ago. In fact, we were still racing the series finale this time a fortnight ago at the Mount Panorama circuit in Bathurst. Gaderick did a fantastic job there. Won 5 races throughout the course of that series, including all 4 races held in North America. He's feeling a little bit off-put by the fact that there's only 1 race in North America in the next 10 weeks and 1 in South America. But at the moment, it doesn't really matter because the European flavour is suiting him just nicely as well. In the Audi as he crosses the start-finish line on the run to turn 1. Dennis Gaderick doing a nice job here as your race leader by somewhere in the vicinity of 6.8 seconds over Mansell, Leach, Cracknell, then Turner. That's top 5 here. And Glenn Postlethwaite in the lane now. Have a look at this.
Now.
On lap 12, Glenn Postlethwaite visits pit lane. He'll be a little bit disgruntled with what happened earlier, Paul Nichols, but we know what Glenn Postlethwaite's like. He races right to the very end in the instances that he can, of course, be it network coding or car damage getting in the way. But he'll be hoping to salvage some high-quality championship points here in the next 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have this season we have 10 rounds and we have 2 drop rounds. So if you have a shocker and you have an internet dropout or you have a real life issue you need to deal with, you've got 2 rounds that you can wipe off your 10 round calendar.
Does that work for commentators as well or not?
Not for you, Zach. No.
I didn't think so. No, okay.
What?
So
you can't delete your bad broadcast. I don't think there is any actually, by the way.
Thank you. I'll pay that. No, I'm just saying I hope there's a backup commentator for a couple of weeks' time when I'm out at the Ipswich Kart Club on the Friday night, because it looks like they're going to run on the Friday night, and maybe also on the Monday night, because I don't think I'll have a voice left after 60 races out there.
Yeah, we've got that covered. All good.
We will wait and see. Hey, the other point as well, I mentioned it earlier, good luck to everyone that is signing up for that event next weekend at the Ipswich Kart Club. I look forward to seeing everyone, including our own Michael Porter out there. And also a very good luck to everyone competing in the New South Wales Karting Championships this weekend, which are taking place down at the Sapphire Coast Kart Club, actually, so down near Bega Way. So good luck to everyone down there this weekend. Nick mentioned karting earlier. It'd be remiss of me not to at least give those people in that organisation a nod at this point in time. Postlethwaite rejoined the circuit out there in 28th position, green, and Mishkong, the rounding out the top 30 at the moment. You're watching Dennis Gaderick on your screen at the moment, folks, leading by 8.1 seconds. He has now clocked the fastest lap of the race. It's important to note Candola and Gaderick exchanging fastest laps here at this point in time. And that's an important thing to note too. You heard Paul Nicholls talking about the structural changes within the club and in with regards to point scoring systems and everything else for this season. There's now bonus points on the line for the fastest lap. So these guys are going to be rooting for those extra 1 or 2 points, aren't they, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at last season, it was decided by, was it 3 or 4 points, I think, from memory?
Yeah, something like that. Something
so
minuscule, ridiculous margin.
Yeah, so those bonus points are critical. So top 10 in qualifying get a bonus point. P1 in qualifying gets 3 bonus points. And then obviously during the race, we've kind of structured the points to be a little bit more real world. So I'm thinking that the guys that look at those bonus points read the rules, and that's really interesting. Some of the guys don't read the rules, but read the rules, look at the bonus point situation. I think Brenton and the guys at the front, they read the rules and they understand what's important.
Indeed, they do. Now, there's the scroll at the top of your screen that shows and tells the story. You're riding with Paul Mansell at the moment, looking out the back to Guy Leach. They're giving each other a real hurry up here, separated by 0.2 per second. Onto the main straight they come. We're at half race distance, we should point out, folks. 23 minutes down, 22 to go. And have a look at Leach giving Mansell the hurry up to turn 1 here. Tucks back in. He's happy to follow him through for the moment. We should point out...
Really good to see the forwards up the front.
Well, this is the point. We were wondering if it was Nick or whether it was just that no one liked the car, and it was I don't know. It might just be Nick. I don't want to be rude, but
look, Nick's a very good steerer, so definitely not Nick. I would say that the BOP adjustments in the last update certainly put the Ford further forward. So
okay.
And it's interesting to see there's not many BMWs in the top 10. So. Really strange kind of. I would have thought, based on last season, that the BMWs would have been in the top 10. But yeah.
So this is interesting because we were talking about. We've got on board with Guy Leach at the moment. We'll come back to him. Just enjoy the onboard shot there, folks, as they head down to turn 10. Yeah, you're right about Nick. He's a top-notch steer-up. And I can get away with it because he's not back in the com box yet. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, as you say, Nick was also one of those guys that was saying to us, look, as I get more used to the car, I'm getting happier with it. And that was proven with his Bathurst result. He was happy with that. But also, as you say, those balance of performance updates, it's amazing how much swing there is in terms of the advantage that some cars have. We saw what happened to the Mercedes halfway through the championship last time round, Paul, that it was eventually, it essentially, I should say, went from being a great car to drive to being a dog. Oh, trouble. Cars doing their best to avoid a spinning car there. The velocity entry, we'll get a replay of that for you now. That was James Wood. So ride with Cracknell down the back straight here. And here is the moment for Wood. Just losing it.
Under braking, yeah.
Yep. So often the case. That happened to Candola. It's now happened to Wood. And Glenn Postlethwaite, follow him through. He'll do very well out of all of this. He missed all of the carnage. So Cracknell got a little bit of a touch up there. And Postlethwaite was able to miss all of it now.
JP just mentioned that prior to the pit stops, there was six BMWs in the top 10. So we'll have a look at it, how it goes after the pit stops, see how they shake out. Yeah.
So the pit stop sequence well and truly underway here, which is not really a surprise. Half race distance, people usually get to halfway, come in, have a top up, keep going, and that's great. We have got a couple of retirements. We've got Rick Vincent through Netcode. We've got Aaron Cooper out of the race as well. There are, and Trent Lavis as well, we should point out. He started 8th, ended up being the first retirement tonight. And now in the pit lane is Dennis Gaderick. So this is the race leader in the lane now, folks. Dennis Gaderick coming in for his stop, 9 seconds clear of Guy Leach. Paul Mansell sitting out there at this point in time in behind them. So Dennis Gaderick on the back of Leach and also Mansell stopping. Gaderick has taken that as a sign that it's probably time for him to come in as well. And there is Paul Mansell coming around onto the main straight now. So Richard Mitchum in the lane, off screen as well. Let's see where Gaderick comes out. Oh, well and truly clear. That's no real surprise. He's going to be about ahead of Leach there. So the pit stop is sequence has worked out beautifully for Gaderick. And so often we see races won and lost there and time lost in the pit lane. None lost for Dennis Gaderick. He's still the clear leader here at the moment, and he will be thanking Amrit Candola for that mistake that was made at turn 1 a few laps ago. Brilliant stuff from Dennis Gaderick, picking up exactly where he left off a fortnight ago. And it's hard to see him being beaten from here. Paul Nicholls, clear track in front of him, 20 minutes to go. It's just about staying consistent and smooth now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a shout out to Guy Leach as well, guys. I'm not sure if Guy's pitted or not yet. So we've got he's pitted. So we've got Guy Leach and Luke Turner in GT40 Ford. So really good to see the Fords up the front there.
Paul, how are we going with incident points? That might be something that you can fill us in on.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Yep.
All right. Now, we've got Brendan Whitaker there on your screen at the moment, folks. He is running 5th. Chris is sitting 4th. And there are the incident points on your screen now. So you can see who's got what. And a lot of 2s and 1s, but also a lot of cars, including Brendan Whitaker, running 0x at the moment. Whitaker, Turner, and even the cars down in 8th and 9th as well. So that's interesting that there are already a few guys with the 0x. Unfortunately, Dennis Gaderick, 1x next to his name, as we suspected there might be. Postlethwaite and Candola already with incidents. And that's the thing. We were talking about it earlier, Paul Nicholls, and I think it's important to mention when we get to the stock cars on Friday night, penalty points was the clear difference. Oh, sorry, not penalty points, but bonus points was the clear difference, I should say, between Glenn Postlethwaite and Carl Watmore in that last series. And I'm looking forward to seeing their battle resume on Friday night. But Postlethwaite had something like 60 more bonus points throughout the course of the season just through better qualifying and a couple of extra clean races than Carl Watmore, and that was all the difference in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at the incident points at the moment. There's some guys that are very close to getting a drive-through penalty. So Glenn Cedar-Adele, Peter Hunter, Russ Green, James Wood, Maverick Benson, Daniel Green, Rick Sabria. So they're all close on incident points. So just check out those guys. I think the guys up the front, as normal, they race clean, they race fast.
As it says on the totem there on the scroll at the top of the screen, that this is the GT3 Series Pro Split. And have we got 2 or 3 splits for the GTs this time around, Paul?
Yeah, we have 3.
3 again? So Pro and M.
124 pre-qualified. And there's probably quite a few guys that didn't actually qualify at all because they knew they'd be in the AM split. So we have 3 servers tonight. And I'll throw you up the results after the race.
Beautiful. We look forward to bringing you that as well, ladies and gentlemen. As we always do on a Monday night, we'll have the post-race show. We'll have some drivers dropping by for a chat. Some will be a bit more animated than others. Nico's point about BMW, well documented as well. That was the go-to car last series, along with also the Ferrari and the Mercedes. And at the moment, it's Audi that's dominating at the pointy end of this field with, but the same driver in Dennis Gaderick. So, I mean, it just goes to show sometimes it isn't always about the car, Nico. It sometimes comes down to the ability of the driver as well. And Dennis Gaderick has spades of ability. Well,
as they say, a good tradesman never blames their tools.
That's exactly right. And and it just goes to show the versatility, because all these guys will say there are differences between driving the Mercedes to the McLaren to the Ferrari to the Merc, and it's evident here that for Dennis Gaderick, he's conquered the differences between the Ferrari and the Audi quite beautifully, and he's clear at the moment to the tune of 10.3 seconds from Paul Mansell, Guy Leach, Luke Turner, and Glenn Postlethwaite's got back up into the top 5. Good fight back from Postlethwaite, not really surprising, though.
No, not at all. It's surprising. It's Brenton must have had an incident. He's like 40 seconds off the pace at the moment. So,
Yes.
who else we got there? Maverick Benson, Paul Wood, Emmerich Condola, kind of back just in the top 10. So, a couple of guys you would think would be further up the field. So, obviously, incidents or something's happened around the track that they're pushed them back a bit.
So Gaderick, Mansell, Leach, Turner, and Postlethwaite. You're watching Glenn Postlethwaite at the moment. Let's stick with him because he is closing in. He's about 3 seconds away from Luke Turner, and also Guy Leach is a further 3 seconds up the road. So Glenn Postlethwaite 3 seconds away from Turner, and there is about 13 minutes left in this race. So plenty of time for Postlethwaite to close that gap. There is no doubt about that. As they cross the start-finish line one more time. Be interesting to see what happened to Trent Lavis. Be interesting to see what happened to Rick Vincent as well post-race, because Lavis dropped out at the start, pretty much the second lap.
Yeah, Rick had some internet issues, so had to drop out.
Second time tonight we've had a driver with internet issues.
It happens.
So it's a common occurrence tonight.
Well, mechanical failure. It happens.
Yeah, exactly right, 100%. Usually the 2-cent parts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a little bolt or a thread or something breaks and race over.
Oh, dear. The joys of motor racing, be it in the sim world or the real world. It's fantastic. Now, we've got Emmerich Candola on our screen here, folks. It's important that we note this because Emmerich was the front runner early on with Glenn Postlethwaite. At the moment, he's fighting his way back through. He's under a little bit of... He's putting actually a fair bit of pressure on Ben Miller here, trying to set up a move to move him into 6th or 7th position, I should say, in the motor race, and he's got the job done. So Candola gets the job done very nicely on Ben Miller there, and that gives him 7th place now. Didn't waste any time getting it done. The ocular aerial shot shows and tells the story for you as they make their way around. Into 13, down to 14, 15. Where do you sit on this, Paul Nichols? Because I know it's not one of your preferred tracks. I don't think it's one of Nick's either. But that Mickey Mouse section there, 13, 14, 15, 16, I quite like it the way it used to be. But where do you stand on it?
I'm going to claim the Fifth Amendment. I don't like the track at all.
Fair enough.
Not one of my favourites at all.
Yeah,
hence why I'm not racing tonight.
Fair enough. I just used to like a lot more. Well, that's reason number 2. I was going to say I just much preferred the faster run, like 120 k's extra that you could carry onto the main straight by coming around the sweeping rights rather than having that Mickey Mouse little chicane in the middle there. So, but each to their own. There are some people that probably love that section of the circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, one of my favourite circuits during pre-qualifying. I mean, I've got to love Silverstone GP, the new one. Absolutely cracking track. I mean, this is kind of similar, but it's just to me, it's I don't know. I haven't probably spent enough time on this track, but I certainly will in the future.
For sure. Great to have you with us, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the closing stages. The final 10 minutes of racing here. As Luke Turner comes under a little bit of pressure from Glenn Postlethwaite, and Postlethwaite moves his way into 4th place. Nicely done. Postlethwaite into the top 4. Guy Leach is 5 seconds up the road. That might be a task too hard. Postlethwaite on a resurgence here. He led the race for the first few laps. He got taken out by a spitting Emmerich Candola. He slipped back to 8th spot. He slowly but surely chipped away at it as only Glenn Postlethwaite can. He's got his way back up into the top 4 now. So nice little salvation mission from Glenn Postlethwaite here. Emmerich Candola under pressure. or putting pressure rather, I should say,
He's got the run, yep.
on the lapped car there in front of him. I'm assuming that's the lapped car.
Yep, correct.
Because Michael Crack was too far down the road to be right in front of him. He's 4 seconds, in fact, but Candola will be trying to chase that down over the course of the next 9 minutes. Dennis Gaderick leads by 10.8 seconds to Paul Mansell and Guy Leach. Only 1.1 separating them at the moment. Postlethwaite sits fourth. Turner, Cracknell, Candola, Angus, Siciliano, Merritt, and that makes up the and Merritt makes up the top 10. I was about to go on, but no, Merritt is the last one in the top 10 there. John Merritt, the 38. Paul Wood in the thick of a battle here at the moment with Chris Whitaker, and in behind them is Richard Hunter. So the three of these cars going toe to toe right now. In fact, Chris Whitaker's dropped off that battle, actually, so it will be, I think you'll find Scott Nolan, Maverick Benson, and Richard Hunter. Or am I looking at... no, I'm looking at... Sorry. I was right the first time. It was Chris Whitaker here because he's got Paul Wood and Richard Hunter in behind him. There are two Richard Hunters in the server tonight. There's the 555 Richard Hunter and the 144 Richard Hunter. Talk about confusing. Now you got to... Not only do you have to know them by name, but you have to know them by bloody number as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as the race goes on. Chris Whitaker, Paul Wood, and the 144 Richard Hunter in positions 14, 15, and 16 there. So that's been a good run from Paul Wood from 25th up to 15th, for Richard Hunter from 24th to 16th, and from Chris Whitaker from 22nd to 14th. He's done well. And there's someone that probably didn't like the idea of the qualifying being on that Silverstone, that new Silverstone layout, Paul Nichols, because when he was talking to us about that layout as a commentator in the last series, watching the drivers on that configuration, he said, it's not one of my preferreds, but he got out there and had a crack, and he's happy to be back on the grid as Paul Wood slams it down the inside, and Chris Whitaker gives him all the room in the world, and then Wood spins it and locks it up and loses 2 places on the exit of the corner. So Chris Whitaker almost losing a spot, but in the end it was Paul Wood who lost 2.
Yeah, I think Paul Wood pushed the 4th pedal, we called it.
Yes.
The 4th pedal is you push your brake and accelerate at the same time. It kind of stabilizes the car.
But this is what I was going at, Paul, with Chris Whitaker. He'd be really just happy to be back on the GT3 grid after missing out because of complications with not being able to pre-qualify in the last season. Yeah,
absolutely. It's good to see him up here. So, he's certainly got some talent. And Chris and Brendan Whitaker, I think, where's Brendan at the moment? He's in P20 at the moment?
Yep. P20 after starting 27th. Richard Mitchum in behind him.
Yeah.
Only 0.7 of a second separating them at the moment. In fact, we've just picked up Brendan Whitaker now. So there's Brendan on your screen. In behind him is Richard Mitchum. So we'll keep our eyes on that because that's Richard trying to vie for a spot in the top 20 here. And there was something to be said about the pre-qualifying as well. We should point out there were some drivers excused from that pre-qualifying because of their rank, their performance in the last season. And they got the gold ticket through into the new season, including, of course, the champion Dennis Gaderick. But obviously there's been some testing going on for Gaderick to work out, well, actually the Audi's going to work better for me this time rather than the Ferrari. So good work from Dennis Gaderick. Round onto the main straight one more time. This has been a tremendous performance so far from Dennis Gaderick. We are currently watching the battle, however, between Brendan Whitaker and Richard Mitchum. And Whitaker with the straight line speed there, just doing a nice job of holding Richard Mitchum at bay. I say that, but Mitchum has a look down the inside, fires it down under brakes. Well played, Richard Mitchum. A little bit of a touch on the exit. No harm, no foul. Mitchum tucks back in behind, says, I'll have another crack next time round. And that's the sort of redressing you like to see from your drivers, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about pre-race. If you do take someone out, we expect that if you can redress on track, obviously if it's safe to do so, everyone respects that. I mean, you should treat this as a real-life experience. I mean, these GT cars, you break a front splitter or it's probably, $40,000, $50,000 repair.
Dennis Gaderick's coming around onto the main straight, and that'll be 3 laps to go as he crosses the line. Just having a look at the clock here. He crosses the line in 41 minutes, 20 seconds. So, yeah, he's definitely going to get another 3 laps in because the race speed would suggest that there'll be somewhere in the vicinity of 10 to 20 seconds left in race time when he comes round after, well, this is lap 24, so after lap 25. So we'll be getting to lap 26 tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, stick around for the post-race show as well. That is Glenn Postlethwaite running position number 4 at the moment, 4 seconds away from Guy Leach. It's not going to be any podium celebrations for Glenn Postlethwaite tonight. He's had a tremendous fight back, though, after that early race incident with Emmerich Candola. But 4th is still a good foundation in which to build a championship campaign on. And we know that consistency has been the factor that served Glenn Postlethwaite so well in recent times. Back we go to Dan Siciliano, and I'm just having a look down through the order. He's, of course, there at the moment, all over the back of Michael Angus. So that was the battle for position 7 and 8 that you were looking at there. Now we're a little bit further back in the pack and watching Brenton Hobson charge his way back through. Around the outside of Paul Wood, if you don't mind. Can he get the job done? Can he hang there and maybe get it done in turn 5? No, he can't. Paul Wood's going to make it very difficult for him to force it down the inside. And he stays on the outside, Wood, but this time Hobson will get it done on the run up to turn 7. Through 6 they go. Got the job done. Brenton Hobson, a little bit of argy-bargy there from Wood, who wanted to go with him through 7 and 8.
No.
Now there's contact. That's a 3-car pile-up. Paul Wood was caught up in that. Brenton Hobson caught up in that. Chris Whitaker, I think, might have been the innocent bystander and all that smacked the wall. And that is just ugly. But, I mean, credit to them. They tried their hardest, their absolute best to get through their nose-to-tail, line astern, side-by-side in the case of Hobson and Wood, but something had to give. They behaved themselves for far too long.
Yeah, you kind of expect that on the last couple of laps of a race, so probably review that. But from what I saw, just then racing incident.
Yeah, that was my initial thought as well. Not that I'm a steward or anything.
Up the front here, Paul Mansell and Guy Leach, team cars together.
Brilliant battle, isn't it?
I'm just thinking about multi-21.
Yes. Does Guy Leach get the right of way, or does Paul Mansell take it? Let's wait and see. They're working together. There's no doubt about that. They've done a beautiful job tonight.
Fantastic.
Second and third.
Up the front.
Let's be honest. It could have been 4th and 5th had nothing gone wrong for Candola and Postlethwaite. They've inherited a top 2 and 3 spot respectively. And they've done a beautiful job. Dennis Gaderick's on the run home here. He will get 1 lap to go next time by the line. Luke Turner's under serious pressure from Emmerich Candola, though, if we can get to that battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at that.
Have a look at this. Right there on your screen right now. Emmerich Candola. This is for P5. Down the inside.
Right.
Job done. Made it look easy. What was Turner thinking? He left a hole the size of the Great Wall of China for Candola to get through, and he's not silly enough to say no. And that is Turner getting shuffled back to 6th. Dear, I dear. This comes back, Paul, sorry, to racecraft, doesn't it? In the last couple of laps, there are some guys that are a lot more aggressive, a lot more defensive than others, and clearly there's some racecraft lessons there for Luke Turner.
I think Luke is preserving his 0 incident point, so he realises he'll pick up 5 if he doesn't have an incident.
Which is far better than...
If you let someone pass, you can pick up 5 points. You'll still be ahead of them on the points.
Fair call. Fair. And that's the interesting thing as well. We've spoken about it before. The bonus points that come into play here. It's amazing how much that plays on the mentality of the drivers in the race from go to woe, let alone the closing laps. Because I mean, yeah, there've been some instances tonight where we've seen these drivers lose their ability to get those bonus points very early. Now that we've got to the latter end of the race, they're just trying that extra bit hard to stay clean. And obviously, in the case of Paul Wood and Brenton Hobson, it all went pear-shaped. But here's Dennis Gaderick, ladies and gentlemen. On the run home, this is the last lap. Time has expired here. What a great race it's been. And Dennis Gaderick, after winning all the North American races in the last series and the Mount Panorama affair as well, 5 wins to give him the championship by only a couple of points. He is now going to pick up exactly where he left off. New car, new continent, but Gaderick smashing the competition and cleaning up on a Monday night, and that is something we've become quite accustomed to. Last turn, checkered flag.
Lights flashing.
Gaderick does it in Spain, and he's done it in superb fashion. 12.9 seconds the margin in the end. It'll be a little bit more than that, actually. It'll probably be over 13. And Gaderick wins round 1 of the GT3 Series. What about Paul Mansell and Guy Leach? Have a look at that. Superb performance from them. The team members go 2 and 3. 13.6 the margin. First to second. Dennis Gaderick has smashed the competition here to win round 1 of the GT3 Series in Season 3 of the 2020 iRacing calendar year for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Glenn Postlethwaite, well done. He got back to 4th. He was only 2.2 seconds ahead of Emmerich Candola in the end. And that goes to show how well both those drivers went in the back end of the race there. After that incident, Postlethwaite fell back to 8th. Candola fell back to 18th and charged back through to finish 5th. Superb. Luke Turner 6th. Then Michael Angus 7th. Dan Siciliano 8th. John Merritt, Maverick Benson make up the top 10 ahead of Richard Hunter, the 555 Richard Hunter. Scott Nolan, the other Richard Hunter. Then Michael Cracknell and Brenton Hobson came home 15th after that late race incident. Ben Miller, Lee Siddles, Richard Mitchum, Brendan Whitaker and Paul Wood made up the top 20. And my worst fears were realised. I thought it was Chris Whitaker that got caught up in that incident. And he slipped down well down the order as a result of all of that. But in the end, we had 40 finishes. Chris Whitaker was a lap down. Ross Green 2 laps down. Warwick Sharp, Jack Allisey 2 laps down. And then the non-finishers, Ben Snell, Aaron Cooper, Rick Vincent and Trent Lavis. I'll run through the full order in just a moment, but take your hat off to Dennis Gaderick, ladies and gentlemen. Get your hands out and smash them together. That was a scintillating drive to start the season. Really tremendous performance. There's the result on your screen, so let's run through it now. Dennis Gaderick, Paul Mansell, Guy Leach, Glenn Postlethwaite, Emmerich Candola, Luke Turner, Michael Angus, Dan Siciliano, John Merritt, and then Maverick Benson made up the top 10. Outside, Richard Hunter, the regular, Scott Nolan, the new Richard Hunter, Michael Cracknell, Brenton Hobson, Ben Miller, Lee Siddles, Richard Mitchum, Brendan Whitaker, and Paul Wood. Then we go back to Glenn Riddell in 21st place, a little bit further down the order than he'd like to be, but that's exactly where he started. There aren't too many of those stories throughout the field, let me tell you. Daniel Bergenal, Yanni Sortoriou, then Ross Ponting, Paul Rogers, Peter Hunter, then James Wood, Justin Schwercourt, Jamie Mishkong, and Daniel Green, that should be, made up the top 30, not to be mistaken with the boxer, of course. Then Jamie Welch, Jared Daly, Stone Cold, Matty Austin there in 33rd, Rick Sibra, Andrew Goldman, Josh Forer, Scott Griffiths, Dave Trevathan, Adam Lavis, and then Chris Whitaker made up the top 40. Then outside, and Whitaker ended up 2 laps down, I should point out. Adam Lavis, the last of those, a lap down in the end. 31 cars ended on the lead lap. That's a testament to everybody for their performance tonight, no doubt about that. 41st was Ross Green, then Jack Allisey, Warwick Sharp, then Ben Snell, Aaron Cooper, Rick Vincent, and Trent Lavis, those 4 all failing to get to red checkered flag. What an incredible race that was to start the season. And we've all enjoyed that. I hope you have as well at home, wherever you're watching around Australia, around the world. In fact, be it on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Huge thanks to Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hook again, Racecraft, Oculair, Flash Graphics, Simple Sim Computers, and SimShed Broadcasting for their ongoing support of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. That is just night 1 of 30 over the next 10 weeks in this season of the 3rd season of the iRacing year for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. So there is a lot to come. 2 races down, 68 to come, another 29 nights of this, mate. What's not to like about that? Dennis Gaderick, get your hands out and smash them together, ladies and gentlemen. Superb performance from the defending champion. The 2-week break, a car change, and nothing's changed in terms of you. Back on P number 1, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It was, I suppose, just a lot of luck on my end. Sort of. I thought about just sort of tailing the guys in front. I saw Hobbo pit very, very early, and I was wondering how he was going to make it on fuel. So I essentially wanted to catch up to sort of Amrit and Mr. Postlethwaite himself. And yeah, that sort of wasn't happening. And then they collided, and it was just sort of a case of keep it clean until the end, really.
Well, this is exactly right. We noticed when you came into pit, you came out, everything went smoothly. All that was left to do was not get caught up in anyone else's incidents and drive it smooth and consistent to the end. You did that. You reaped the rewards of a 13-second win.
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of surprised in myself. To be fair with you, I didn't actually think I had the pace of both Amaret and Glenn. But then when I started getting my own fresh air, I was doing mid 45s pretty sort of easily. And from then on, because I thought that Hobbo was going to sort of undercut me, so I kind of wanted to just sort of set quickest laps as I could. And yeah, my race pace, I don't know where I found some time. I think in the race I just found another line that was doing me wonders, to be fair with you.
For sure. Now, mate, talk us through the last couple of weeks, because you wrapped up the championship in the Ferrari. Did you actually get to take the Ferrari for a spin around the Goldie yet, or is that still to come?
They don't actually even know that it's happened. So to be fair with you, I mean, the second the trophy comes, obviously I'll show them that, and yeah, I have to write them up a nice little thing there, and yeah, I suppose it's still yet to come, but it's coming. Let's put it that way.
All right, very nice. Now, on the subject, the last week, how much time was spent preparing for the new season? Because Paul Nicholls was very quick to pick it up tonight. You've ditched the Ferrari. You've gone with the Audi.
Correct. I think after last season, I thought that the Ferrari was going to be a bit of a popular car, which, to be fair with you, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just thought, I was actually dealing between both the Ford GT and the Audi, and I found them both to be pretty similar in speed at sort of different tracks. So if we were to go to a couple of places, it would really even out. But yeah, I just chose the Audi in the end. I think it was just more based on feel. I do love my Ford GT. The Ford GT is a good car. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you saw, but I did a sort of test run for everybody at Bathurst with all the different vehicles. And although the Audi was something like 0.3 slower than the Ferrari optimal wise, considering that's kind of the first time I've jumped into the Audi over a year versus constantly driving the Fez, I just thought, why not give it a red hot crack, learn how to actually drive it and see if there's any difference. And yeah, to be fair with you, I'm really enjoying it so far.
Indeed. He's on your screen now at home, ladies and gentlemen, a chance to rewatch the races. We recap it here for you. You'll see a full replay courtesy of our broadcast partners there on your screen. So looking forward to all of that. Paul Nicholls, I might bring you back in at this point in time, because I'm just having a chance now to go and have a look at the comments in the broadcast section. Trent Lavis, yay for driving standards. So his exit very early on might be a little bit more explained in those comments alone. So I dare say the stewards might have their work cut out for them tonight. Paul's not there at the moment. We'll get back to him very shortly, but there are some people standing by in the broadcast green room that we'll bring in to have a chat here. And I'll start with, hang there for me, Dennis. I'll come back to you in a moment. I just want to go down to Glenn Postlethwaite, and I'll come back to Paul Nicholls, because obviously he'll be getting his head around the comment that I've just sent through as well. Hopefully now that we've, JP, our director here, can get us a look at Glenn. It's Trent Lavis's, I should say, start, because the race was 26 laps long and he went out on lap 1. So we'll, if we can get a look at Trent Lavis here, we'll get an indication as to what happened. I dare say turn 1 or somewhere on that opening lap. Glenn Postlethwaite, let's talk to you, and let's say welcome back to the GT Series, mate. It's great to have you back on the grid here. Well done on what was a superb drive after getting caught up in an incident that there was absolutely nothing you could do. Unfortunately, Emirates made the move at turn 1, tried to make it stick, unfortunately couldn't. That's what happened to Trent Lavis. Got turned around at turn 1 and smashed into the rear. And as he was trying to get back onto the circuit, okay, I'll come to you in a sec, Glenn. I just want to follow Trent Lavis's car here, because this is the first time that we've seen what happened to Trent. He was one of the cars got turned around at 1, and it looks like he's had some serious problems with the right rear of the steering column there, and that's what's fired him into the wall the second time. So that's why he was out of the race on lap 1. Okay, now that we've got that cleaned up, Glenn Postlethwaite, I'll come to you, mate. Well done getting back to 4th after leading early, getting caught up in an incident that, as I say, there was absolutely nothing you could do about it. Emirates fair, made the move down the inside. Unfortunately, in the process of putting the accelerator on to get back going, got turned around, got a little bit loose, and he's lost control of the car, therefore speared into you. You've fallen back to 8th. He's fallen back to 18th. You guys have come home 4th and 5th, a case of what might have been, but still a good launch pad for the series ahead in terms of overall points, mate.
Yeah, pretty frustrating. I obviously stoked to get the pole. It's been a while since I've been in these cars, so happy to get a pace. Yeah, the SSR Ferrari was on fire. I was sort of just trying to take it easy at the start there and just sort of saving a bit through those last couple of corners, and just a couple of risky spots just so I didn't make any mistakes. And yeah, just sort of, I don't know, I was just trying to back it off a bit, and then he was getting some runs down the straights and in a few different spots, and I was just able to sort of just hang on. And it's one of those tracks you can sort of go side by side and hold your line sort of through one corner, and then it comes back to the next one. So I wasn't too worried about him getting down the inside of turn 1. Yeah, he sort of got a bit of a run on me there, and just obviously, went in deeper than he thought he was, and there was some contact that wasn't ideal, but anyway, it is what it is.
That's racing, as they say.
Yeah.
Well, this is exactly right. You managed to get your way back to 4th place. In fact, getting by Luke Turner, and then also, I didn't actually get to see all the great manoeuvres you made, but we made note of the fact that you worked your way back up to 5th. Then it was a case of getting by Luke, who then subsequently got passed by Emirates in the closing stages as well. So it was a good a salvage mission. And now we move our attention to Brands Hatch. When you look at the calendar and look at the series and the circuits ahead, what are you confident about? What aren't you confident about?
To be honest, I have no idea where we're going or anything. So,
let me refresh it. Yeah, let me run through the calendar so that we can have a little chat here. Brands Hatch, then Okayama, then Interlagos, which is a new one for everybody, which we're looking forward to. Then Zandvoort, if you can believe that. Alton Park in the second of 3 British rounds for the series. Then Monza, Donington Park, Sonoma, which I know you're good at from your stock car exploits, and also Mount Panorama.
Sounds like fun. Some good tracks in there.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Last time I ran in the GT cars at Brands Hatch wasn't the best. I was in the McLaren, and it just wanted to kill me every time I hit a curb. So the old Ferraris are a lot more user-friendly, and I can drive it how I like to drive, which is good. So yeah, it should be fun.
Well, it's interesting because this goes back to what Dennis was saying. He stepped away from the Ferrari because he knew it to be a popular car, because that was the championship-winning car in the last season. You've stepped into the Ferrari. Any particular reason, apart from maybe Dennis's success, that steered you in that direction?
I basically tested all the cars, and I just found all the other cars had a fair bit of understeer. Like, obviously, I didn't spend any time on setups and stuff like that, but the Ferrari, I jumped straight in, and it felt like home to me. It's got good turn, and I can drive it really aggressively to make my speed, which is good. It sort of suits my style. So yeah, it feels good to me.
All right, fantastic. And obviously, as we look ahead to later in the week, we saw you in the Hump Day Pilot Series there a little bit in the first half of the last series. Will we see you back in the TCRs this coming Wednesday night or not?
I don't think I'll be running the TCRs, but I'm going to run in the Porsches.
Very nice.
I'm going to have a fang in them. I like those cars. And then I'm not sure if I'll be doing the stock cars or maybe the supercars. I haven't quite decided yet, so we'll see what happens. I'm kind of enjoying having a sort of bit of a challenge in something different. So yeah.
Well, I was going to say, if you do come into the stock cars, you're going for the clean sweep for the championship for the year, 3 from 3. So the pressure would be on. But that being said, as you say, you're enjoying challenging yourself, and that's one of the great things about the club. There's many avenues in which you can do that. Porsche GT3s, what's your initial thoughts there, mate?
I love those cars. No traction control, no ABS. That's my style. So I was having a run in the Ford, the GT, before I jumped in the Ferrari, and I was having more fun with it with no traction control on, sliding around the track. But yeah, certainly wasn't very fast. But yeah, I do like the Porsches. You can really sort of get up on the wheel and try and muscle them around, which is good fun.
Indeed, you can. Hang there for us, Posy, if you can. If not, we'll catch up with you later in the week, mate. Thank you very much. Scott Nolan, I'll go to you and I'll work my way up the chat thread here. 12th place in the end. Well, you were 9 seconds behind one Richard Hunter and 3 seconds ahead of the other. You were with the Nolan and Hunter sandwich by the end of the race. What'd you make of the 45 minutes that was?
Yeah, probably blew out a few cobwebs.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't really drive too much of these towards the end of last season, and done a little bit of work tonight, before tonight. But yeah, I was probably, if I look back at it and the couple of small mistakes I didn't make, it was probably on for to be right around that Luke Turner, Michael Angus sort of position there in 6th and 7th with starting the race in 15th. I was like, oh, we're in the dead zone here, so anything can happen. And the dead zone was a bit further forward by the sound of it.
Yes.
So that was kind of good. We avoided all that. So it was really sort of a race where we sort of capitalised on, Brenton with his strategy, stuffing that up. Yanni, Posy also had a bit of a run in, and a few of those guys that finished down the order. We could have sort of capitalised a bit and sort of run a bit higher, but had a good battle. Sort of got balked by a teammate coming back on the track, Michael Cracknell there towards the end, and the Richard Hunter number 1 and the 555 got up the outside of us at the end of the back straight, and he had a bit of overlap, and I probably tried to force him a little bit wide, and I got caught up. So dropped a spot to him and Maverick, and then we just cruised on in 12th. So we moved forward from our grid position, which is good, but if I didn't hit the gravel out of the final turn and do a nice little flick spin, we could have been sort of up around that 6th place.
Now, I've just had word come through, and it's courtesy of the comments in our Facebook broadcast feed. Parry Anastakis was in the 144. So we had Richard Hunter, actual Richard Hunter, in the 555, and Parry Anastakis under the name of Richard Hunter in the 144. Nicely done, Mr. Anastakis. We will get square. You should have told me about that before the race, not after. But anyway, that's okay. Nothing like running under a pseudonym or a disguise. But no, well done, Parry. He's finished there in position number 13. And we look forward to seeing what he can do with the rest of the series that's coming up. Scott, what are your thoughts on the tracks ahead, mate?
Yeah, Brands, I'm not sure. It's going to be a bit hit and miss. I'm not a massive, as a few of our boys in our team, we're not really a massive GT, drivers, sort of besides sort of this. So a few of the tracks are going to be quite new to us. I like Interlagos. That's going to be a good addition. Zandvoort's a lot of fun as well. It's a good little tricky circuit there with a few chicanes and stuff like that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, look, I'm just, we're here to give it our best run as a sort of I think we're 5 cars in the top split at SSR, and try and do the best we can and see if we can get as many in the top 10, and hopefully either Glenn or Brenton and our 2 sort of quickest guys in these cars can have a run and pull that number 1 off the door of D Nice Gaderick.
Yes, exactly right. No, at the moment it's proving to be a very difficult task to rip the number 1 away from D Nice, because he was very nice tonight in his performance to go and win the opening race of the series. Well done, Scott. Let's move the conversation around. Michael Angus, I'll come to you actually. 7th place. We haven't seen much of you in our previous GT3 races, but good to have you in the grid in the field. And 7th is a nice launch pad for the season in terms of just putting a little bit of points in the bank and looking to build on it from there. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It was definitely a step up from the AM class from where we've come from. And
that's it.
I had the shaky hands and the shaky left leg going across the finish line. So no, definitely a step up, and these guys definitely make cleaner racing a bit more fun, which is good.
In fact, on the subject, I was going to say I'd bring Dennis Gaderick back into the conversation, but he's already jumped out of the room. But how was the energy levels at the end of that, or how were the energy levels rather? Poor English from yours truly. How were the energy levels at the end of that 45 minutes? Because it was a solid workout, 26 laps, no safety cars.
Yeah, I don't think I took a breath for the last 5 minutes, and once I got across the line, I had to scull a bit of water because I had a bit of the old dry mouth going. But no, it's just it's great to see guys that can put lap together, lap after lap, and one little mistake can cost you so much. So Luke and I was sort of stuck together in most of the AM class, and we've come up into this one where we've finished right behind each other again. So. But no, overall, pretty wrapped. Bit of a shame to see a few of the teammates, Yanni, have a rough start there. He should have really been up the front fighting for that. Parry and Andrew as well had great races. So, no, overall, mate, very happy.
Very good. And what are your thoughts on the upcoming races? Obviously, Brands Hatch is a tight little place to go racing. Alton Park and Donington Park means we've got a real British flavour to this season, but also some classic tracks as well, like Okayama and Monza.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm only pretty new to this, so pretty much every track I think coming up will be the first time I'm going there.
Yep.
I only got my first laps around Barcelona yesterday, so I think doing a few of the AM class races was an introduction to a lot of those tracks, and as I said, these ones are all going to be new. So looking forward to learning some new ones. I think doing lap after lap at Bathurst in a supercar gets old after a while, which is all you tend to do when you first get the game. But no, it'll be a good challenge.
Indeed it will, and looking forward to your involvement with the championship as the season rolls on, mate. Nicely done tonight. Let's throw the conversation around here to Luke Turner, who finished just ahead of you. In fact, 9 seconds up the road in position number 6. Although, Luke, it could have been a little bit better. Just left the door wide open there for Emirates in the closing stages. Lost your top 5 place. But that being said, 6th place in a field of that calibre. Are you happy?
Oh, yeah. Very much so. I saw Amrit and Glenn. They were catching me pretty quick, right? So
Yep.
I didn't want to risk throwing it away. So yeah, I left the door open. I knew he was fast. I'd rather him just do it safe than try and do a bonsai. But yeah, sort of echoing what Michael said. It's just so nice to be racing guys that give you room. They're fair. It's a bit different from what Michael and I were doing in the AM class. So yeah, no, I'm wrapped. I don't think I had one breath those last 10 minutes. I was shaking.
It's quite interesting. I'll bring Paul Nichols back into the conversation at this point in time, if you're there for me, Nico. Yep, good, because you want to leave, but that's okay. Let's have a talk about that, because there'd be a couple of factors here. One, obviously the step up to the top tier, to the broadcast split, that comes with added pressure and added intensity, but also, let's not forget, we're starting to head towards summer, so depending upon where you are, your sim room is starting to get a little bit warmer each race night, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fans will come out, the air conditioning will come on, and I mean, I used to race in VR, and it could not handle it during summer. So you sweat with VR on. So I've now gone to a 49-inch widescreen. A lot of the guys have triples and have a fan on. I think during the summer period, you certainly need to have a room that's conducive to having good racing. You certainly don't want sweat dripping down your eyes when you're in the middle of a race.
No, you certainly do not. But in terms of the race that was fairly clean, we were surprised that there wasn't a safety car, and that obviously added to the sweat levels and the intensity of all the competitors here throughout the course of the night. Luke, obviously 6th is a great start of the season. What are you looking forward to in terms of the tracks that are ahead, and obviously the competition that awaits?
I like all the tracks really coming up. This is my only bogey track that I don't really like, so it's good to get rid of all the sausage curbs. I've got a soft spot for Brands and Donington because I lived in the UK for a while and I used to visit there to watch motorsports. So it's been good fun. Looking forward to getting there.
For sure. Adam Lavis, at this point in time, I can bring you into the conversation. Have you got some championship points to send through to us or not yet?
Just about finished with the Pro Split.
Okay, cool. I'll keep filling here until such time as you can send some stuff through to me on the old Stalkbook Messenger thread, as it is called. I appreciate that. In fact, while you're there, mate, quick comment about your race. Maybe not the night that you would have liked, but still, you come home, you're only a lap down, you were 39th, and you were ahead of Chris Whitaker.
Oh, well, it's like I was busy all day today getting everyone into the service. I'm sorry to Perry, you got your name wrong. That was copying and paste there. So
I
sorry
only
about that.
just saw your comment there. Yeah.
And also, I've just heard there was another one in the Pro-Am split, so I've made at least 2 blunders. But
That's all right. We'll fix that up.
There's 2 Dylan Greys.
Is that something we? No.
So if you raise the second one long enough, it turned into his real name, but it had Dylan Gray in front of it.
Oh, okay. I don't mean that, by the way, Dylan. You're a nice young bloke. Now, let me throw the conversation around here. Richard Mitchum, are you able to unmute yourself there, mate, so we can have a chat with you? Let's have a chat, mate. Nice to have you back. And in the Pro Split as well, 18th. Happy with that or not?
I moved forward from where I started, so I guess that's got to be a plus.
Yes.
But yeah, I got away quite nicely actually. So I was just looking at the results. I think I was away with the group that ended up finishing 6th to 12th. But unfortunately, I think Glenn Riddle must have missed his braking spot, and I kind of dropped back to about 30th. So it was kind of a bit of a recovery drive from there, and then I kind of made a bit of a mess of the pit stop as well, which didn't help. It cost me a couple of seconds. But yeah, it's actually much better racing, right? I think big difference moving up from the Pro-Ams is if you do have a bit of an incident on race 1, getting back through the pack is a lot more competitive and so it was some really good racing through there, real nice clean racing after that little excursion on lap 2.
Indeed. Now, on that, the first couple of laps always hairy. We were a little bit surprised that everyone managed to get through turn 1, 2 relatively unscathed. There may have been 3 or 4 cars got caught up, but in a field of 47, credit where it's due, you guys did well.
Yeah, I mean, racing quality was quite clean. Even Glenn, to his credit, he obviously wasn't intentional. He pulled over, waited for me to get going again. So fair play there. It's hard when there's so many. Yeah, start was nice. But yeah, credit to everyone. It was good racing. And looking forward to the English tracks coming up in the next coming racings. Brand's next, right?
Yeah, Brand's next. Alton Park and Donington to come later in the year as well, later in the season as well. Which of those is your favourite, mate?
Probably Alton, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, really enjoyed that in real life. Donington as well, but it's a bit wider, whereas Alton's less forgiving, which I've got a lot of time for that. Yeah,
very true. So, we've got some good races to come. And car selection was critical for this portion of, this championship, I should say, because the old pick and stick rule is again in play. What car did you choose and why?
I just stuck with the Ferrari. Worked nicely last year. I think that some of the BMWs look quick. I think I was carrying a bit of damage from the first incident, so I was down a bit on straight line speed, which made overtakes a little bit harder. But no, I think the Ferrari is pretty solid on most tracks, just lacking a little bit of top end. But it can definitely get around the twisty stuff, so it should be good around Brands, Alton, all those places should be nice.
Indeed, it should be, mate. Hang there. I'm going to come back to you in a moment. I'm just going to run through the championship points because Adam Lavis has sent them through in terms of the Pro Split. The Pro-Am and the Am Split we may not be able to get to tonight. We will have the race results, but Adam's because it's week 1, it takes a little bit longer to punch everything into the system. So we'll give him as much time as possible. And if we have to run through it on Wednesday night's broadcast or even when we start next Monday night, we will. But Dennis Gaderick, no surprise there. Top of the points table, 31 points, going along nicely. Paul Mansell, 28, and Guy Leach on 25. Now, Nick's not jumped back into the broadcast room, but he is lurking around in the Discord somewhere, Paul Nichols. He'll take great comfort from the fact that there are now a couple of Fords fighting at the pointy end of the town.
Yeah, absolutely. I think really, really good to see a bit of a non-BMW. I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked at the results, but everyone's talking about BMW is going to be in the top 10. It's going to be the car to go to. But fantastic to see the Ford up there as well. So cracking race tonight. Really enjoyed it. Great call. And thanks to all our sponsors. So LJ Huaganda, Racecraft, Central Coast Subaru, Flash Graphics, Oculair, Simple Sim Computers, and also to our new broadcaster, SimShed Broadcasting. Thank you.
Indeed. And on the subject of SimShed, we'll bring you up to speed with what you can also look forward to as far as SimShed Motorsport is concerned very shortly. I've been warned with some graphics up here on the screen very shortly, so we'll update you there when we look ahead as far as the Gentleman Sim Racing Club is concerned. In the meantime, let's go and have a look at everything else that's happening here. Fourth place in the points is Glenn Postlethwaite on 24. 23 for Luke Turner, 22 for Emmerich Candola. And again, it comes back to what Paul Nichols was talking about, the fact that, yes, Emmerich got the bonus points for qualifying, but Luke Turner got the bonus points for the clean race. So he's sandwiched in between Postlethwaite and Candola. Dan Siciliano, he sits 7th. Then Michael Angus, John Merritt, and Maverick Benson, the top 10. 4 Ferraris, 2 BMWs, 2 Audis, and 2 Fords in the top 10. So already 4 manufacturers fighting for the title, which is good stuff there. Nick's back with us. Chris Kisby's here as well. Chris Kisby, good to have you on board for the night, mate. What's going on?
Yeah, g'day, Zach. Welcome back to another season. Amateurs for me tonight.
Yes,
and we had a field of 21 starters. And Daniel Ackland took out the race in first spot. Eric Thorpe second. Simon Ferris third. Finishing off the top 10, you had Johannes Koch, Lee Williamson, Ken Munro, Aaron Gray, Tao Serrano, Adam Coughlin, and Sean Rees. So your top 10. A little bit hard to compete against a 145 there, Zach.
Yes, exactly right. And 25 in the split, it's important to note. 25 laps completed, no cautions, 2 lead changes along the way. Daniel Ackland, Paul Nichols, seems to me like a little bit of a big fish in a small pond.
Well, I'd say he probably hasn't pre-qualified, so he may have joined the wrong server. We're not sure yet, but we'll check that out.
There's a couple there that didn't.
Yeah, so we have three. We have 3 splits. So pre-qualifying was based on. So the top split obviously was the race we saw tonight, and then we have the Pro-Am series. And some of the drivers might have joined the wrong split tonight, but anyway, we'll sort that out during the week.
Well, that is true. As far as
Ackland didn't qualify.
Ackland didn't qualify. There you go. You got it here first from Adam Lavis. Now, as far as the Pro-Am split is concerned, we'll quickly start to wrap this up because we are 10 minutes away from 10 o'clock, which is about our broadcast window here. Jaden Schmidt getting the job done. Brock Kelly sitting there in second spot. Then Curtis Porter. Then you went back to Nathaniel Webber. Then in 5th place was Kial Crowther. Michael Hammond was 6th. Matthew O'Grady, James Wilkins, Scott Harris, and Chris McCall rounding out the top 10 there. Some big fish in the small pond, particularly Michael Hammond in there as well. But Paul Nichols, you're quite fond of that Pro-Am split.
Yeah, well, I'll be in there next week. Not a fan of Barcelona. So I've taken one of my drop rounds. So
That's it.
Yeah, next week I'll be in there, and looking forward to next week. I actually don't know where we are. Where are we next week?
Brands Hatch, mate. Brands Hatch. Looking forward to that. Nick, nice to have you back. You didn't see much of the race, I know that, but obviously the cream rises to the top again with Dennis Gaderick. Paul Mansell, Guy Leach flying your flag. The Ford's up at the pointy end. That's got to give you a little bit of comfort after you toiled away with the difficult nature of it last season.
Guy Leach, Paul Mansell, they're very well versed in GT3 cars, so it doesn't surprise me they're towards the top anyway. And yeah, good on them in the Fords. Give it a go. What the hell? It shows. Maybe I'm not the biggest fan of cars with ABS and traction control, so. Give me no ABS, no traction control any day of the week. So, hey, look, good on them, getting it up there. Wow, there's a lot of incidents. I'm just looking at the results right now. There's a lot of incidents.
Yep.
Early on
Race-
was
Jeez.
quite a few.
Did you lose your voice?
No. We're still
Okay.
going strong. Race control is going to have their work cut out for them in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I do not envy them.
There's not at all. Now, just updating you, the final game of the regular season in the AFL won by Port Adelaide, securing the minor premierships 9-7-61 to 7-3-45 over
Gabba's looking
Collingwood.
good.
The Gabba
Just
is
go
looking,
past
it is looking very good, and of course they were trialing a few more people in certain sections of the crowd tonight.
That's right,
With regards to COVID and everything else, but the finals are coming up, of course, and the Gabba will play an integral part in all of that. Of course, the grand final on October 24. Now, as far as Gentlemen Sim Racing Club is concerned, we go racing again on Wednesday night, and Adam Lavis, you'll be in the house as far as the director duties are concerned, and it's an Asian flavour for the first two Wednesdays. We're off to Suzuka on Wednesday night this week for Hump Day Pilots and also the Porsche GT3s. And then next week, it's the Okayama International Circuit, so a couple of nice Japanese circuits to get the season going there.
I hope you like your sushi.
No.
But neither do I. But yeah,
I love it.
As for this week, just so everyone knows, unfortunately, work commitments going to be in a row. So we're going to aim for a delayed telecast for Wednesday night, so it won't be live. We're going to aim for hopefully try and get on the Twitch around the 11:30 mark, maybe before. Obviously, depending on when we can get our hands on the replays, but that's our aim. But we'll definitely have at least a replay of some sort up as soon as possible. But next week will be live, no problem. So we'll be sweet to go.
All right, so delayed broadcast Wednesday night. Make a note of that. Zach, you can have a proper dinner and then watch Home and Away and then come and do your work. And then everyone else, we roll in from there. So that'll be good fun. Adam Lavis will communicate with you off air with regards to that. Friday night, of course, 7:15. Hang on, actually, since you are here, Adam, I don't like having off-air conversations on air, but now that we're broadcasting through SimShed Monday, Friday, I believe that the previous start times are in play. So the 7:15, the 8, and the 9 rather than the 5, 6, and 7.
We made a slight little tweak because JP would manage to, I think it's like 10, 15 minutes later. To help JP get home in time from his other commitments as well. So there is, just checked on, it's now on the schedule. So as it is on the schedule is the current plan at the moment.
All right. So originally it was 7:20 race start, but I'm assuming it's now 7:35.
7:30, yep.
Yep. So we'll be with you from 7:30 on Friday night. It'll be production cars, stock cars, supercars, mid-Ohio, and that'll mean that supercar race, instead of starting 9:30, will be about a 9:45. But hey, that's going to make for a big night of broadcasting for us right here for the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. In fact, as far as SimShed is concerned, would you like to, JP, throw up your broadcast schedule for the rest of the week so that everyone else can have a look at what they can look forward to here? Because it is a full book. There is no doubt about that. Sim Racing Club on the club Facebook broadcast page on Wednesday night, mostly live, but as we say, this week it'll be about 11 to 11:30, somewhere around there, late night for Adam Lavis and I, but we're looking forward to it immensely. Round 1 of the Hump Day Pilot Series, and that's GT4 TCR, and then of course also the Porsche GT3 Cup Series. Friday night, production cars, stock cars, supercars. Next Monday night, Intro to Wings Round 2 from the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, and then the Grand Prix Circuit for the GT3 Series. Paul Nichols and also Chris Kisby and Adam Lavis and Nico Pop. Good to have your company as per usual. Did we like what we saw tonight, Nico?
Absolutely. I think it was a fantastic race. Was that to Nico Pop or myself? By the way?
To you. To you.
Okay.
Yeah,
fantastic.
For half the night. So.
Nick, anyway.
fantastic first race of the season. It's really good that some of the guys that stepped up from Pro-Am from last season have certainly taken it to the pro guys. So really good to see that.
And a couple of guys from the AM split have even stepped it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really good. I mean, I think some of the comments tonight from some of the drivers is it's really good to drive in a series where there's respect, there's a bit of room given. You jump into an official race in iRacing, it's certainly different to what we produce, I think, and the drivers respect that. That's why the club's grown so quickly. So you make sure if you're looking at joining a club and racing in the league series, jump on Facebook, look us up, Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Have a fantastic turnout. I think we have 1,000 Facebook members and about 320 paid members. So look us up, have fun, jump in.
Indeed. Now, just recapping the results from earlier this evening too for you folks. Big night of racing here. We had an intro to wings first up. It was won by Michael Hammond, of course, from Warwick Sharp, Julian Muckey, Brett Selby-Wood, and also Adam Coughlin. Sean Rees, Pete Matson, Ben Collard won. Vizanash Phillip made up the top 10. In this split, the results were on your screen from the GT3 race, which was the second on the program. Dennis Gaderick from Paul Mansell, Guy Leach, Glenn Postlethwaite, Emmerich Candola, Luke Turner, Michael Angus, and then Ben Sistolano, John Merritt, Maverick Benson, and that made up the top 10 there. Richard Hunter, Scott Nolan, Richard Hunter, Parry Anastakis, as we now know, and Michael Cracknell and Brenton Hobson just outside. Obviously, Hobbo will be a little bit disappointed with 15th after getting caught up in that late race tangle, but as everyone else says, it is what it bloody well is. Paul Nichols, Nico Pop, driver of the night nominations, please.
Michael Hammond.
Fair enough.
What, in Pro Mazda?
Yeah. That's all I saw, so that's all I can comment on. Notable mention to Brock Kelly. He did get caught up in stuff because he was starting from the back, but he was looking fast. He had set some really fast practice times. I don't know what happened in between practice and qualifying, but by the time the race came around, he was looked like Back to the Future. There was flames come off his wheels.
Indeed, there were. I'll throw, obviously, we can't say anything other than Michael Hammond for the Pro Mazda intro to wing split. That was just phenomenal there. 9 3/4 seconds almost up his sleeve at the end of the race. Dennis Gaderick, well done. I mean, not a 0x race, but still an incredible performance. 4th to 1st, 46 minutes, 40 seconds, and just dominant. 13.6 up his sleeve at the end. Well done to Paul Mansell, Guy Leach getting the Fords on the podium. Good to see they're going to be up the pointy end, and I say that as a Ford person throughout the course of the season, even though I should be a Hyundai person, but they're not in this, so who cares?
TCR.
Well, this is right. Wednesday night, that's my baby.
I just want to shout out to Dan Siciliano.
I was going to say, there's some honourable mentions here.
Siciliano. Yeah, so
because Turner went from 13 to 6. Yeah, that's right.
And
Michael,
0 incident points.
0 incidents for Dan. Nicely done. So Luke Turner, 13th to 6th. Michael Angus, 16th to 7th. Dan Solano, 17th to 8th. John Merritt, 19th to 9th. Maverick Benson, 14th to 10th. 12th to 11th for Richard Hunter. 15th to 12th for Scott Nolan. 24th to 13th for Parry. Down the order, 33rd to 17th for Lee Siddles. 27th to 19th for Brendan Whitaker. 25th to 20th for Paul Wood. 36th to 22nd for Daniel Birchnell, if you don't mind. And that's about it.
I think my vote's going to Luke Turner.
And 43 to 43rd to 28th for Justin Schweikort. Even if that's not the way you pronounce it, it's too late. 46 to 32nd for Jared Daly. So some good movers there. But I think, absolutely. From what Paul said there, Luke Turner deserves the vote.
Luke Turner, so 13 to 6, 0 instant points.
And as he said, not in the pro split last season, worked his way in from, I think, Lamb. So he's done a superb job there. So well done to him. Nice fight back from Glenn Postlethwaite and Emmerich Candola. Unlucky for Brenton Hobson and more so Chris Whitaker, because he was the innocent bystander in that incident between Hobson and the name escapes me of who he got caught up with there. Paul Wood, thank you, Nick, in the closing stages. So you did see the end. Well done.
No, he just told me.
Fair enough. Right, the teammate communication strikes again. So, okay, Michael Hammond, the driver of the night in intro to wings. Luke Turner in also the GT3 series. Dennis Gaderick, the winner in GT3. Michael Hammond in intro to wings, and we've had a hell of a lot of fun here for Simshed Broadcasting, the Gentleman Sim Racing Club on a Monday night. Of course, regular programming continues here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The club page, the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, we will go live there through Adam Lavis on Wednesday night. The races will be broadcast as live, but they will be on a slight delay, obviously, as Adam's already mentioned. So as far as that's concerned, we're done. We head to Asia, the Suzuka circuit Wednesday night. Looking forward to that. Then we head to Mid-Ohio on Friday night, and I'm really pumped up about that. That's going to be awesome fun. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for round one of the production cars. Which car are we running production cars this week? Anyone?
Global Mazda.
Global Mazda, very nice.
Yep.
Always the Global Mazda, very good. Stock cars and supercars to follow that. Then next Monday night, staying in Europe, but going to Brands Hatch for round two of the Intro to Wings and GT3 series in this season 3 of the 2020 Gentleman Sim Racing Club iRacing season. We're done. On behalf of JP, Adam, Nick, Paul, the entire broadcast crew here for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club on Sim Shed Broadcasting. Huge thanks to all the people that make it possible with Racecraft, Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hooker Gander, Oculair, and also Flash Graphics and Simple Sim Computers. We look forward to your company again Friday night here as far as Gentleman Sim Racing Club on Sim Shed Broadcasting is concerned, but on Wednesday night as far as our coverage of the Wednesday night motorsport stuff is concerned over on the Gentleman Sim Racing Club Facebook page. Until then, on behalf of the team, I'm Zach Caban. Congratulations to Dennis Gaderick and to Michael Hammond. They've chalked up their first wins of season 3. Look forward to your company Wednesday night. Until then, goodbye.